Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The fish tank's getting looked at. So if you're watching live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, you're not going to see it right now. Normally you would be able to see it. But
I'll tell you guys a story but I'm going to save it for the Friday show.
Are they still here?
Yeah. Okay. But about Butler and how
Did he do something again?
Yes, how he embarrasses me and
in front of Top Shelf Aquatics,
yes.
which I do not like.
And we have to have an intervention with Butler because his choppingness is
chopper
tendencies.
It wasn't what happened this morning, was it? Where I witnessed a bit of that.
Well, that was the beginning, and then he must have a chopper flare up because it caused him to go chop crazy. He started running out here. Then he's
freaking out. Okay. We have a guest on the
Oh.
line, and you are absolutely, I believe, obsessed with influencers and trying to understand, like, social media, new media, and like the weight of it, how to accurately navigate it. What can you do with it? What can't you do with it? What are the limitations? What are the positivities? And number one thing for you, can you make money doing it? And we can do that for Weird Job Wednesday if you would like, sir.
Yep,
all right.
let's do it.
So here we go. Make sure I got this right. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you want to refi or get a mortgage and work with a company that's going to help you buy a house because they're going to help you get your mortgage streamlined and easy and take care of it.
There. About 5 years ago, we worked with another company, and they did not help people.
Yeah. That
I will not say the name of that company.
Streamline Florida. So
no, not that company.
No.
That's
the one that's the helping one. That's the helping one.
I prefaced that wrong because you threw me off. God damn it!
I did.
Why were you embarrassing me?
Everyone's embarrassing you.
I am embarrassing
I don't know why.
But Butler's still the most, right?
I'm surrounded by people making.
Anybody can embarrass Tom is really
I thought you always claimed you didn't get embarrassed. Are you watching our guest in the bottom left-hand corner? Because she's embarrassed of you.
It's like I'm trying to run for the finish line, and you guys are swiping out at my feet.
Yeah.
the entire time trying to trip me up, and I'm just stumbling.
Like kittens.
I'm just like, please. Anyway. So on the line with us, or on Zoom with us, I'm an old man.
You just embarrassed me, sir.
On the line? What line?
I don't know how she's here, but where's a ghost on my TV?
On the TV with us, Danielle. How you doing, Danielle?
How you doing, Danny Dunny Dada?
So good. How are you guys?
Good. Now, it did make me less nervous to talk to you when I found out you were Shart and Randy's girlfriend.
Whoa!
I'm just saying.
Now I know where this interview's gonna go.
No.
What's it
made me more comfortable.
I don't know if she knows the story. So.
I thought you
were the story. I've seen the trophy.
Okay.
What is it like laying next to Shart and Randy every night of your life?
I told him I was going to sing the song when I was on here, so it stinks. It stinks in here. You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you watch the cartoon together?
I did.
How did he land you?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the meanest thing you are supposed to be playing.
I thought it was Mean Wednesday.
You were supposed to be playing the part of the female nice, you're the voice of reason.
Let me get into character.
And now you have looked at her and you're like, oh, this girl's an 11, 100%. And Randy's a 2, a big fat slob. I know what you're doing.
No. Randy's changed.
Why are you and Tom bullying Randy? We're supposed to be talking about TikTok.
We're trying to talk to a TikTok influencer and learn about social media.
So, sorry, Danielle.
Fine.
So let's start off with, how did you get into the talk?
Oh God, I got into the talk last June. I was a gawker for a few weeks, just watching and thinking I'm too old for this, and I probably still am, but whatever. But I got on there during all of the the protests and everything, and kind of wanted to tell a different side of the story. Get involved, be active. That's why I got involved. And then it kind of morphed into, I felt like I was being really serious for a while because everything was really heavy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pull in some humor and figure out how I can communicate some complicated ideas in a funny, reachable way for a lot of people.
So what's interesting about TikTok to me, because now I fully am on board and understand what it is, and
I mean,
I'm
now
glad.
now that you're watching the teen girls take their underpants off, like, he fully is on board.
Well, now there's. Have you seen Tik-Tok? That's a
Excuse
whole.
me?
He sent me that in the middle.
TikTok.
He sent me that in the middle of the night, and I got to tell you, I danced with TikTok for a little while, and it's awesome.
Oh yeah. Danielle, you know about TikTok, right?
So I know there are different sections of TikTok. I mainly live on political TikTok. But
Oh, well.
Prim
If you ever want to have fun, dip your toe in TikTok.
Well,
I'm getting in there.
so my point
Oh,
being,
if you really want to get in there, we'll be rich.
my point is that I now see, like, okay, I see this, how the social media platform of TikTok is consumed, right? Because like you scroll down, you look at videos, it's fast. It's faster than most like any other, so like, to me, way faster than obviously Facebook is for memes now.
Oh, sure.
It's like your original social media, and then like Instagram is like faster, but this is truly like, it's go.
TikTok is where I go when I want to do guy dressed up like Black Grandma, Black Lives Matter, drag queen, and then take your underwear off, hand dance.
Well,
quick, and I did all of that in 60 seconds.
But I get dirt bike videos. I get smush this with a press. Like there's all like,
you're one of those guys.
I'm thinking now, smush this Jello. They have this chopper thing that grinds.
I have the chopper. Yeah, that one. I think
thing.
from saying the word chopper.
Anyway.
So when did you notice? You're doing. So are you just being you, and you're talking about like, oh, during the protest, this is my side of things, or this is how the protest makes me feel. When did you start seeing, like, you're looking at things and you're like, oh,
with the numbers? Yeah. When did the numbers shock you as far because you were, I'm sure, on other social media, right?
Kind of. I kind of branched off into creating like a mini brand once I did start to take off a little bit, realizing that, oh, I can actually do something with this. I would say the biggest milestone was 10,000 followers. That's when I felt like, oh, I can actually start to build off of this. That probably took 2 months. But you see people on there for 6 months and they have 1 million followers, so it's very relative, and it honestly doesn't make any sense. But so I would say it was around 2 months in, I'm like, oh, I can actually do something. And then I was like, well, what else can I talk about? Because, and growing up in a mega church, I was like, let's talk about religious trauma.
All right. No, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And I find that most people that I know that are really into TikTok are consuming the type of content that you're talking about. Like, for those of us that are just, like me, I'm typically using it when I'm just got some downtime. I just flip through. I'm not really going there to get, but there are people that use it for the way that we're talking about, where you can just get like curated opinions on something that means something to you.
An outlet of ideas, of like, but it needs to be in a small format that's easily digestible for people that are just scrolling through.
My ideas don't translate very well on TikTok because my ideas are very long and stupid.
So
You got more views than I did.
Well, I was humping a microphone in mine.
Yeah, but
Right.
there's
Right.
not. Well, this
Boobs
is
were in mine.
this is my next question,
I liked yours
Danielle.
better.
And do I say at with TikTok, or is that just Twitter? Like,
But you know what? I'm glad you asked.
Dutchess Prim.
Normally you would text me and be like, "Is it at or hashtag?" You know, I'm proud of you for
Look at
asking.
'em.
So
Yeah.
what is it, Danielle? Do I say at Dutchess Prim?
Yeah, you can. And it's
Okay.
Dutchess Dutch because the other spelling was taken.
Gotcha.
So now let's go into the business of this. So you start getting followers, you start getting views, and you start basically figuring out, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, because I've noticed I did follow you, and like all your videos are, you're about the same content, right?
Yeah.
Just, you're not doing like wild swings where one video you're putting Mentos in a Coke bottle, like you're doing
Yeah.
like all these different, you're basically have a brand for your TikTok. So how do you go about like the first step of monetization or figuring out, all right, can this do anything for me, like besides I'm just putting content out there?
Yeah, good question.
So there are a couple different ways that you can monetize your page. Within TikTok, there's what's called the Creator Fund, where if you reach a certain level of metrics, basically you have a certain amount of followers, yada, 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 you can join this fund where TikTok actually pays you based on views of your video. It's kind of a hack though, because I was in it for about 3 months and my account just flatlined, and I realized they don't want to pay people for their content.
Right.
It's just a ruse. So I made my first little chunk of money and I just donated it to charity, because I was like, I'm not here to capitalize on the message that I'm trying to communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's all about making yourself accessible, which is why I have my own email handle on my page. And that is the best way that people have gotten in touch with me, and also through Instagram. And so I've gotten a few promotional opportunities with different organizations and, product placement stuff, which is really, really neat. But, again, is your goal to monetize, or is it your goal to communicate a message? And you can do both, which is kind of cool.
And even and you bring up a good point, because and I lean this way where I'm always like, how much money can you make? And, but it's more than that, especially if obviously with your content, you're communicating a message, but the money can come in other facets of your life or in other avenues, but this can be a way of promoting you and your brand. And then that promotion is valuable in other ways, in other avenues or whatever. But the main, having followers and viewers and people to talk to and people that are engaged into you is valuable. And it's an
Correct,
inherent store of value. For instance, you can make $0 off TikTok and keep building your brand until you have 1 million followers, and then transfer those 1 million followers into you're selling a book, or you are running a charity organization, and you what I'm saying?
And then that relationship is compounded and means more. Yeah, no, I get it.
Promotion and having followers or attention is valuable, even if it's not valuable in US dollars today, right?
Right.
So you're
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And you can also create a merch line. I have some experience in graphic design, so I was able to create some merch to kind of push different initiatives that I had. And a lot of people do merch, and that can be a really very easy way.
Write down merch,
create
Sam.
some revenue.
Got it.
It's all right.
We gotta get merch.
So, and it's interesting too, because in the political, and there's a lot of social media that's just.
Well, that's where we want to go.
I know.
Tom and I have wanted to start a very, very fueled by hate political channel on TikTok.
No,
Do it.
but what?
No, it's the least thing we would ever want to do.
So, like I was talking about, if you like audiences crave politics sometimes, right? So obviously there's huge audience for politics on both sides. And then and both sides have messages they're trying to put out. And if it's not just for pure money reasons and greed or whatever it is, then if it's actually something you believe in, then I can imagine it could be maybe like you are hesitant to try to make $1 off of it because you're like, this wasn't my intention. It wasn't my intention to do this for money. I did this because I believed in it, and I believe what I'm saying, and I don't want to have people think that I'm in it for the money.
That's the balance, right?
But to put my full effort into this, I need to make money for myself and family, so it's hard to because I feel like it's kind of like you taking or people taking salaries from.
Because her channel does have worth. It's not like our channel has no worth.
Yeah.
No, I'm being honest when I say that. I don't mean that as funny as it. But seriously, like yours, you could actually learn something. Ours is, Tom's cleaning his sandal with a fork, and
it's nonsense.
Yeah, it's nonsense,
Pranks,
and so there is value.
That still holds value, right? Because people need a balance of both, which I think is why I try to insert, voiceovers that are funny but still on topic. Because if you're just inundated with like factual information and really heavy topics, nobody wants to pay attention to that.
Yeah,
it's too much.
So, and like, kind of what I was saying is like, do you find that you are hesitant to even monetize this because it's a message you believe in and you don't want it to look like you're in it for the money?
Absolutely. And I think it's really hard for me to take brand deals, and it's, gosh, it sounds so conceited. I just don't want to take any brand deals. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I hate doing product placement ads because it's like, hey, here's this, message and this initiative that we're pushing, but buy this t-shirt. Like, ew. I feel like it kind of damages my credibility. So whenever I do brand stuff, I try to put it into a picture and post it on Instagram. I feel more comfortable doing that than making a whole video about, some face cream or something.
Do you, with
Dr. Pepper.
delicious.
Wow. Oh, as always, 0 sugar, 0 calories. That's Dr. Pepper since 1885.
saying that with a Mountain Dew shirt on.
Yeah. I know. Well, because I am I am
no.
such a trashy person that pretty soon
Both Pepsi products, though.
Pretty soon,
Yeah, I know. It's on brand.
Pretty soon, you heard it here first. I will have the first ever Mountain Dew chest piece tattoo.
All right.
And if any brands out there are listening, me and Daniel have completely sold out.
Oh.
We do not care.
What do you want me?
Whatever you
What do
want.
We're right here.
Whatever.
Look at this.
Anything you want.
Look at this. This is a Tanga egg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's you know what that's for. That's for fun time for boys.
Whatever you want to sell, we'll dance and sell it.
Oh, whatever it is.
Anything.
are your sellout chickens.
So sorry. With TikTok, how is the engagement with your followers? Because is it as volatile as other social media sites that we know of? You know, like
Are you talking in activity, or are you talking in coming and going?
like trolls, people
the
like
negative
talking to you?
side of TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, it's way worse than anybody knows.
Okay. See, this is what I wanted to know because, like,
Yeah.
I never read the comments.
I have legitimately had friends of mine try to tell me that TikTok is the positive, no negativity. You got to come here. You got to do this.
Well, it's
not-
probably. I mean, if you're doing politics stuff, like you're gonna get the extreme hate.
Yeah. So what's the real?
And that's exactly it, right? It depends on what your page is all about. Because I talk about politics and because I'm very opinionated, I basically died inside a little bit because of how much hate I get on a daily basis. It's wild.
Wow.
And TikTok doesn't care. Any attention is good attention to them. So you can report hateful videos and hateful comments all day long, and TikTok's like, nah, that's fine. Deal with it. I mean, I've had my life threatened. I've had people try to dox me, and I'm like, you don't even know my real name.
Yeah.
So that
The doxing thing scares me a
Yeah.
little bit. Like
I
that.
I don't know what is that? I don't know.
Well, it'd be.
They give out your personal information, like your
Yeah.
phone number, your address,
And that
Oh.
can
where
get
you
out.
work.
That can get out of hand really fast, man.
I remember Tuttle tried to do that to
Dirty
Jimmy.
Jim, yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
like, on the radio.
Well, this is before he was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Jim Colbert. He was like,
Yeah.
Jim Colbert.
They-
Jim Colbert. His children go to this school.
He almost got fired for
Yeah,
that.
he almost got fired for it.
The,
Who would have known he got fired for basically?
that's old media doxing, 90s radio doxing. So with that, like, do you not read the comments? But I guess you want to get the positive.
Yeah, how do you manage it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the hard thing too, right? Is one of the ways that you continue to boost your own posting, because you never know how TikTok's going to boost any of your videos. Literally, the best video I have that has over 1 million views is me laughing at Donald Trump getting attacked by a bald eagle. Like, it's no substance at all. Freaking hilarious.
Gotcha.
But it was hysterical. But one of the ways that you gain more attention is you do interact with your commenters and your followers, and
gotta
so
interact.
I try to be selective about reading comments, but sometimes you just have to. Luckily, you can put filters on your comments, but again, if you put filters on your comments excluding certain words or verbiage, it can actually hurt your account because it's not boosting that post by putting that comment on there. So it's a real catch-22. It's a lot of fun. It's not fun.
Have you been recognized like at the grocery store or like
That's
out?
a good question. Yeah.
Not out, no. I thank God. And I think it's because I stick to a pretty specific look when I'm on TikTok, and I don't have that look outside of TikTok really. Every decision I make on there is kind of in a way protective and strategic. I'm not that brilliant, but I try. But I have had people in, my friend circle and even some coworkers text me of, my daughter saw your TikTok. I'm like, don't tell anyone.
So this is an interesting
Yeah,
part
so you almost have like a secret life.
of social media where I'm sure a lot of people are like yourself in the fact that you started this thing. And not that long ago, you're not in the entertainment business, but you have this following that's substantial. What's your follower count now?
It's, I believe 171,000-ish.
That's a lot.
So you got 171,000 people. That's more people than.
That's 170,000 more than we have.
Congratulations.
That's a fantastic.
That's an insane amount of people that consume your content. That's more than news stations. You know what I'm saying?
It's a ton of eyes, man.
like-
That's 300,000 eyeballs.
It's nowadays it's so segmented that's a huge audience, and the fact that you do this and these people consume your content and watch you on like seemingly a weekly basis
Daily.
and then you do not have any of the trappings of celebrity where you get recognized or people know, there's you live like
Pretty
Clark
normal.
Clark Clint. Damn it. Superman, Clark Kent.
Clark Clint.
You know what I'm saying. Anyway,
I have no idea what you're saying.
it's you're able to have this one weird social media famous life and then
kind of tuck in
yeah.
and just be who you are. You're this TikTok influencer, and then behind the scenes, you're Sharton Randy's beautiful girlfriend. What a time to be alive!
Right?
Yeah,
it is a really nice way to keep it. Some people really try to blend the two and try to create a little bit of fame for themselves out of it. I have no interest in that. I have a day job. I want my personal life to be my personal life, and TikTok fame is not real. Like, I don't care what people say. It's not. It's an app. And, I think it's kind of funny when people carry themselves of like, I'm TikTok famous. No, you're not. Like, yes, you're TikTok famous, but you're not actually famous.
no,
Right.
but you bring up something. My next question is like, has there ever been any like weirdness because you do have a day job, because you are keeping them separate? But for most people, people love to try and like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be like, do you get any heat from your job or friends of people that just like maybe they don't agree or maybe they just think you shouldn't be doing that?
I've had some friends say that they're very scared that the two are going to cross over. I'm very strategic and I don't talk about what I do. I never use my real name. I very seldomly talk about where I live because I live in a pretty small town. I have to be very careful. I don't even talk about what I do. So it would be pretty impressive, actually, if somebody doxed me. That's not a challenge.
Everybody be cool.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But I really try hard to keep the two very, very separate.
That's interesting.
That's what I did when I had a regular job. I didn't tell anybody I did this show.
Well, that's just because it's this show.
Yeah, it's
Sam.
embarrassing.
Like, I don't tell anybody I do this show, and I own the show. I own the show with this guy. People go, "What do you do?" I go, "Insurance."
Yeah, I still tell people I work for Orlando City.
Especially now, we got a badass team. You want to do your famously uncomfortable question now?
No, well, I know. Well, we already talked about this, and you're not monetizing it, and this is like.
But
pure...
I bet she knows the numbers of what she could.
Well, yeah, that's another question as far as the people that are making money on TikTok. Do you know anything about, like, have you kind of reached out to other TikTok influencers, and do you know the business behind it? Do you know who's making the most and how the business is going?
And what do you call? Do you call them TikTokers, influencers, talk suckers?
Basically, TikTokers or TikTok influencers. Yeah, I mean, there is a girl, and I call her a girl because she's very, very young, but I think she has the most followers in the U.S. for TikTok, and I know that she makes quite a bit of money, and basically she gets major brand deals. TikTok actually pays her to make videos, so she's doing very, very well. But TikTok doesn't want to make political TikTokers famous, period. If anything, they're trying to kick us off the app. So I'm actually in a Discord chat with about 300 other political TikTokers, and we all kind of share ideas of who's talking to you, what brand is talking to you. Am I going about this the right way? So we're all kind of very protective of our little pod.
Interesting.
I wonder if the future, because it makes sense to me, like, because I'm sure political social media is huge. I'm just not in that world. I have no idea. I have no interest in politics, but it's a gigantic community genre.
Yeah, whatever you want it to be. I mean, it's also a huge business.
So it makes sense to me that like a future politician would try, because just like they used to pay for ads for the local news station or on social media,
they're already trying.
If can they get endorsements from
influencers?
Just influencers?
It happened
but
during
can
the
they
last
pay
election. Yeah,
for that? Is that illegal to pay for that?
I don't know the legality of that, but I saw it on Instagram with influencers who would basically, they were endorsing, whomever they were endorsing, and it looked very much like a planned deal. I don't know if they're getting payment.
Or maybe like they pay for put their commercials on their channel or their social media. Yeah, then you could do that, and then you'd endorse them because they're paying you.
What are the rules on that, Danielle? Do you know anything about that?
I honestly don't know anything about that. I think that goes into campaign finance laws, and I am not a lawyer. I never claimed to be.
Yeah.
But I think, I would obviously be open to that. I have a friend who is a political TikToker who is actually running for local office in Arizona. So he's using his platform as a campaign tool, which I think is really fascinating.
Huh.
You're
going to see younger candidates and people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it will be the way.
Yeah.
And it'll be completely normal. And we'll be complaining about it because we'll be old, unless we decide to, kind of monitor things and stay up on things.
If I know the United States, we've made our entire system slow. It's good for a lot of things, but the problem is it cannot keep up with technology, and we're having a lot of problems with that. Like, you built this system so that everything's hard to change, and then we have technology changing at lightning speed, and so we cannot keep up with it, and then you're seeing a bunch of problems, obviously, from that. And so I'm sure campaign finance laws were written when it was like radio and newspaper, and then like they changed it in television.
Even our contracts when we worked in radio didn't have anything about podcasting or digital media in them,
There used to be a thing, I remember, this is how old I am. I was in radio when there was a time where there was a discussion about equal time. And I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
No, it's not a thing anymore.
But it used to be like, if you let this politician on, you have to let the other one equal time. And then I'm like, what, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. But that's some old school.
No, I learned that in mass communication class. Is there anything going on TikTok now where you could see yourself not doing it any longer? Like, or are you really truly enjoying it and you're just going to ride it as long as you can?
It's a weekly conversation I have with myself about just deleting the whole thing.
Right.
It's a mixture of the trolls and people just, I think there's a lot of clout seekers that just go out and attack creators just because they have nothing better to do with their lives. One thing that TikTok doesn't monitor at all is what's called mass reporting. So a group of people that really hate a creator can get together and just start reporting their page, reporting their videos, and basically TikTok will flag that account and shut that account down until an actual person can go through their content and decide whether or not they can actually keep posting. But in that time that you've been kind of put in the corner, all of your analytics go out the window. And so it's going to take you at least a month to get back up and to be seen on anybody's page.
Gotcha.
The whole thing is completely backwards.
Wow.
It makes no sense.
That's like old school.
That is very
like
old school.
Radio stations reporting each other to like
it sounds very gross. Like radio stations back in the day.
FCC, making
you would
complaints.
You'd pull a tape of your competitor if you knew they were doing something spicy or crazy. You'd pull a tape of it and you'd send it in anonymously or from a friend of yours, a neighbor. You'd send it into the FCC in hopes that you got him a fine or hopes that you got him flagged. And it looks like
it's literally the same thing. It's like high school, Mean Girls, whatever.
And that's probably always going to go on, I mean, as long as you have people that are succeeding and people that are jealous. It's just unfortunate that they choose to do that. But it is cool to see the more creative aspects of TikTok and to see people like I know you are doing very well at it. I know our buddies Big Tim is doing very well at it. Mm-hmm. Heather Shaw's doing very well at it. There's some other Orlando comedians that I see on there doing very well at it. It's cool. I'm glad I understand it a little bit more now.
It's a weird little backwards upside down world.
It is very weird. It is. I think out of all of them, it is the most weird to me. Like Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Even Parler. That's not weird. It may be bad, but it's not. But But this one's weird because when I get in there, I don't really understand what I'm even consuming.
Right, and you have to train the app to you, which I think is really interesting. It like whatever you interact with is what you're going to be seeing, and you actually have to tell it what you don't want to see. There was one day I pulled up the For You page, which is what the algorithm decides is for you.
Right.
And it was all Trump supporters and all anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers. And I'm like, what is happening?
Right.
And so you literally have to retrain the app sometimes after an update or whatever to bring it back to, what you want to see.
Maybe you know this answer then. So if we share an account for the studio and we all have access to it, will it collectively, like whatever we're all using from our device, will add to what it will then find for our For Us page?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh man! Well, some of y'all
What are y'all watching?
Yeah, y'all been digging in on the dance videos because, man,
I'm not signed in on our company.
No,
TikTok.
I'm not saying you are. I know somebody who is though.
Yeah,
and I also know somebody that always complains about not getting sex. It's not me and you, and it's certainly not Sam because she's regular.
It's interesting to me that you have this internal battle of like, should I continue to do it? Should I not do it? And there's
that's what I say about this show,
which is weird because I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of people in the world trying to get 1,000 followers or whatever their followers.
We just surpassed that.
They're trying to hammer that and they're trying to do this for a living, and then you have this and you're like, man, is it worth all the trouble? Because is it worth all the trolls, all the
But you seem like the type of person though that you roll with it and you laugh a lot and you're a positive person. I think you're gonna always end up on the good side of this. It's the people with severe mental problems that get in there that when they're getting doxxed and you know what I mean? Like I feel like you already have a healthy disconnect with TikTok, which is what makes it great for you. But there are.
I would agree with that, but I think it's because I'm so desensitized because it's been going on for so long. There are definitely days I want to just chuck my phone out of a window. You know, like it doesn't always roll off, but you get used to it and you realize it's just not real. And if anything, you realize there are a lot of crazy people out there. Like, wow, we need to keep trying to educate people on a really relatable, understandable level, or else, good God.
Yeah. Mental health.
Speaking of that, like there was a story, not to digress, but there was a story about a lady. They're like, lady lives in the wilderness for like 2 months off of grass and moss, and she was eating like. And that was the headline. So you're like, what? Like this a hiker got lost and was like living on the land. You're thinking of a movie or something, and it's a mentally ill person that lived in the wilderness.
A homeless person?
Well,
kind of like a crazy person that just refused to leave the woods, I think.
Yeah, and then she had a tent, and then she would easily could just walk, but she.
So how are you going to spin the story? I guess.
But then you're like, oh yeah, it's always mentally ill, and then that's like the people that say the worst things on the internet that are like, oh my God. Yeah. A lot of times you're like, wow, society's horrible, but you're like, oh, this is a handful of mentally ill people.
Yesterday we were talking about road rage and people being like acting completely crazy, and most people that called in, apparently we have a ton of smart people and doctors that listen to the show, and that's just rage that they can't control in other areas that spills over because they have never been forced to deal with their feelings or how to control them. You know what I mean?
It's bad.
It's bad. Even simple. Like, I'm not saying mental illness. Even simple, just knowing that feelings are okay and they're free flowing, right? Like, a lot of people don't even have that.
Yeah.
Just like, what are they? How to, control them? I don't know, but.
And people grasp onto this idea of let's be outraged to be outraged, but I have no reason to be outraged, but I'm outraged. And you're like, okay, take it out on me. I guess, fine, bring it.
Yeah, and people love getting mad easy.
Fake outrage, we talk about that all the time.
I'm getting better at not getting mad because I realize how much energy I expend when I get mad.
So much energy. I don't know how these people survive. Like, it's mind-blowing to me.
When you have a 5-year-old and you have a temper like I do, you're forced to have to choose, right? And I'm not going to blow up in her face and so I have to honestly go, I don't have the strength for this. It's not worth getting mad. You have to do that.
Yeah, I think they get addicted to it. Danielle, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. It's interesting.
2 observations. Our chat room loves your story and thinks you're awesome, and they also love your eyebrows. They think you have probably the best eyebrows of any guest we've ever had on the show.
A fact.
So we'll be sending you another trophy to go next to Randy's that says Best Eyebrows 2021.
Talk about.
Just make sure it's bigger because I want to rub it in.
I will totally follow through on this if you want to bully him because I like bullying Randy.
I know. Yeah.
If we,
I've been through enough.
You want a big eyebrow trophy? We're sending you.
And if you're gauging appearances on our show, like Randy's got 2 told the war stories possible like this.
And you gave us like an honest, candid, like your experience with TikTok,
trying to do a good thing.
Yeah, you're helping people.
Your boyfriend poops his pants. That's his fame.
He's still amazing.
Oh, you're a good woman. And my wife would never say that. If Tom is like if my wife poops his pants, my wife would hang up on the Zoom call.
All right, Danielle, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. It's been fun.
See ya.
All right, take care. I don't. It's weird hanging up on people on Zoom. If you don't get to it quick, then they do that weird thing where they sit in the corner and and I'm like, I'm trying.
So I'm watching this documentary called The Octopus Teacher. Have you heard about this on Netflix?
We talked about it on the show, but I can't remember who brought it up.
Somebody came in here and said, "Have you watched the documentary The Octopus Teacher?" And immediately I think of really gooey sex.
So
it sounds gross, right?
I only got halfway through it last time and I watched the rest. It was good. It's about a dude that basically I still can't determine how he's rich, but he lives like literally right on the ocean in a badass house, right? But he may have just inherited a bunch of money.
Crazy?
Well, he may be slightly autistic or Asperger's, is that kind of guy that's like super smart
So he teaches octopuses?
He basically was a photographer and would travel the world doing photography, and then kind of had like like a midlife crisis freak out. And
I
then-
need some octopuses.
And then went back to his hometown and then just started swimming
You guys
in the
will
ocean.
see. I'll become the swimming in the ocean octopus guy. You guys will see.
Yeah. It's like that
Is
now.
it like that?
Yeah.
I'll make them love me.
Yeah, yeah. And then he started swimming in the ocean every day and then just started documenting
Hey,
that.
isn't that octopus guy?
And then he befriends an octopus.
Is this a kid's book?
No,
It's a kid's book.
Then he documents the
Yeah,
whole
and then
thing.
the kid tries to give the octopus pizza, but octopus aren't supposed to eat pizza. And you got to feed healthy foods to it. The end.
It's
It won an Oscar for best documentary.
the beginning's good. It's pretty fascinating.
What happens
for
to the end?
I don't know.
Is there
I don't
a
know.
weird is
I
he in
only watch
love
half.
with the octopus?
Right.
I don't
Does
trust.
it get creepy?
Yeah, is he is this a
There's-
Shape of Water scenario where he's like
Right.
touching its tentacles and
There's a little bit of that.
He's like,
No.
ink my butt, bro, ink my butt.
There's
I'm gay for this octopus, bro, and I get home and it inks all over me.
I'm like
Why am I talking like Hulk Hogan?
He's gonna beak it. But so
Beak it good.
he befriends this octopus and then basically
What's the
documents-
octopus's name?
He hasn't named it yet.
Gary.
I don't know yet.
Doug.
You know,
Doug.
I haven't got to like I said, I'm halfway through. But there's this thing that like interesting people do that you look at. Okay, for instance, he's like, he had this freak out. He's like, I just decided to swim in the ocean every day, right? And
Sounds
then,
healthy to me.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then he started talking about how the cold ocean, he soon got used to it, and then his body craved it because the ocean there is like, I'm not sure where it is, but it's
South
like
Africa.
South Africa. It's like 45 degrees in the winter or whatever. It's like cold ass water. And so when you see that, you're like, I'd love to live in a awesome house by the ocean and just clear my mind by swimming in
with
the ocean
octopi, yeah.
for 100 days. Normal people can't do this. You have to work and make a living, and you don't live in an awesome.
So there's more to the story.
Well, I don't know what they probably don't tell that part, but
Well, they need to tell the origin
it-
story of how he got to be so crazy to have a freak out to then.
This was filmed over 10 years.
Yeah. This he started this was a
Well, wait a minute, is this-
lifelong thing.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the story really that amazing and deserves an Oscar, or are they giving it an Oscar because it was filmed over 10 years?
Probably a little bit of both.
Well,
I don't like that.
Where we normally don't see, everything's turn and burn now. So when you see something like this,
You can't burn an octopus.
Well, you're just like, oh my god,
Too wet.
The amount of interesting footage this guy has is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Right.
normally a documentary is filmed in 4 months.
it's like those
so
guys-
you got nothing.
Okay, it's like those guys that, and this happened like in the early 2000s and late 90s, and I hate these people. They're the people that are like, I've been taking a picture of myself in front of this computer every day for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I hate that person because I'm like, damn it, that's cool. Because I'm like, I have a good amount of discipline. I do. But
You
not
like
that
those
much.
days-
I do, but not that much. Not that much. That's like,
I don't know if I feel like you could start now and then
no,
die.
I'm not going to be alive much longer, dude.
Well,
What about 4 pictures on my phone? Oh, he did a
you-
great job. He made it 4 days.
You could document from now to death. I feel like every morning take a picture of yourself, put it into some sort of folder for Maisie to look at.
Oh my God, the sad, just write sad folder. I'm not watching this. Is that a 15-second video or dumb pictures of my dad?
Speed it up to 10 seconds.
There he is. Okay, I'm good. By the time my daughter's on TikTok, it's 2 seconds.
Oh, bye. Welcome to Corporate
We're
Time
back,
with
baby.
Tyler.
We're open, Larry.
Oh,
That was bad.
Seth's here.
We're open,
and he duded up our studio.
Oh my God,
That was the
man.
first time since I've known you guys I went in your studio.
You know,
No, really?
Yeah, I've never have before.
we do have a problem with having a small independent radio studio is that if anyone does need to deuce it up here, and I feel like we've made the environment here so comfortable that when you walk in here, you're so set at ease, you're so relaxed that you almost want to poop here. I think we've invited people to poop here. In fact, the lead singer, Greg of Cashed Out, wrote on the wall that he didn't have to, but he would like to poop in our
Yeah, he
bathroom.
did, yeah.
So I feel like we've done this is my fault. You know, like you always say, Tom, you got to look within. This is my fault. I did such a good job of making this studio and designing it to be comfortable for guests, because that's all we wanted to do is to be better than radio, right? And we accomplished that. But the curse is we just have a really poopable,
And it's clean
really
in there.
poopable
Very
studio.
clean in there. I still double layered with TP though.
Well, we have a cleaning lady. that comes every single. She'll be here tomorrow.
Her Majesty.
Her Majesty
feel bad.
Services. That lady, and she's a good Christian woman.
Leave those streaks then.
I try to hide all the ding dongs before she gets in here because she's a Christian woman. She brought me a card when my mom passed. That's how sweet that.
Oh
lady
man, yeah, that's
brought
nice.
me a card to my mom.
I do. Yeah, we have a lot of dongs around.
Well, no, like some days we leave and Butler leaves a pee-pee in the toilet, and this lady has to come in. Here. It's just bad. We're bad people. This is a
get her
bad show.
Christmas
No one
gift.
should listen to this.
No.
We didn't tip her last year. We didn't tip her
God.
last year. We didn't tip her last
Oh,
year.
that's bad. Yeah,
You know what? You know what
we
the
are
worst
bad
thing.
people.
You know what the worst thing to do is? The worst thing is when she's standing there and she's like, "Well, have a good vacation." She had a Santa hat on, guys.
Oh man,
She was wearing a Santa
You
hat.
slammed the door in her face. Oh my god.
Good day.
And then you.
Bah humbug.
Then I'm writing a candlelight.
And I expect you'll want all day tomorrow off to doo-doo in our bathroom.
What the hell are you writing, old man? Like, don't you have employees for this? Anyway, are you doing the accounting? Don't you have an accountant? Anyway,
Why
it's like
Seth
you're
here?
rich.
Why Seth? Doesn't he? Wait, aren't you setting up your big? You have a big event coming up.
Yeah, it's big. It's not big enough for a stage, but it's big.
what
Okay,
happened?
I thought you were getting a stage. Okay, so
Well, wait. So the
I don't
stage
need a
people said
stage.
your event's so small they can't bring a stage out to it.
Oh, okay. Look, the way it's set up. I don't know if you guys have never been on Woodward. I
Seth
guess,
has
on
a
our
dojo,
street.
guys, and he's doing a grand opening. So let me get the main idea out there
This
before we
Saturday-
confuse everybody.
This Saturday.
This Saturday from 11 to 1.
11 to 1. 11 to 12 is when all the demonstrations and the fun stuff's going to happen. 12 to 1 is the free Mother's Day Women's Self-Defense Seminar.
I didn't think we promoted it that much, but my neighbor said like, "Hey,
I'm going down to that women's seminar. I want to see some chunguses get kicked in the balls.
Are you serious?
Hey, I'm heading down to Mills
Yeah, yeah.
to see some big fat chungus fake rapists get kicked in the balls.
He was saying like,
Which
he's like-
neighbor is this?
He's like, I'm not gonna say because
We saw your suntan neighbor driving into your subdivision as we
Yeah.
were leaving Tommy's birthday party.
Yeah.
And she was driving so fast she had to drop a can up on two wheels. Man, that thing was, I mean, there was a suntan emergency. And Andrew was like, "Oh my god!" And then Andrew was like, "Is that her?" And I go, "That's her."
So anyway,
Well, that's cool. The word's out then.
Yeah, they said
Yeah,
But
we've been whipping the street.
Damn.
they phrased it like, "I want to going to see Seth. Don't break your leg." Like, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I'm like, "Who?"
Oh wait, you're the Drunky the Bear of your own dojo.
No.
You're doing stunts.
They're
at
just
your
going
own-
for the stunts.
I'm doing it. He's getting hit.
Yeah,
hit and beat
So,
up.
so then I was like, it's fine. And then I was like, what am I doing
Well, wait,
again?
well, yeah. What are you doing again? Because this is the first. I knew that.
No,
you,
we talked about this. That's how he knew.
No, I knew you wanted to be there, but I like anything we do here. I thought you guys would talk
Right,
about it. It
like-
would fall apart, and then you and I would just show up at Seth. Because I'm gonna go and support Seth.
Thank you. Appreciate
But like, it's like, but I didn't think we were gonna. I didn't think you were gonna dust off the bear suit and
No,
add it
I'm
one
not
more
wearing a
again.
bear suit. No,
it.
Well, I
It
bet
might
you
help
that-
with some cushioning.
I bet you that's what your neighbor thinks.
No, well, yes.
One more again.
No,
Taste it again for the first time.
Seth said, I'm doing this demonstration and I want to break this bat. And then I have this idea. You put your leg out, you put a bat against your leg with some other bricks or something. And then he's like, I'm going to kick it and break everything. And then,
Including your
and
leg.
then stop at your
Let's
leg.
stop at his leg.
To
This is a
show.
great idea.
Make sure you TikTok this.
And
He
then-
doesn't know how to turn TikTok on.
So I'm like, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll do whatever. And then now I'm looking at Saturday, and then I'm asking more questions because obviously,
Yeah, let's tighten it up. What do you got for food out there, Qdoba?
Yeah.
No, I got one of my students, Eat Me 365. He's going to
Excuse
be
me?
out there. Yeah, well, that's the whole point.
Eat Me 365. I'm on
Alright.
that website every day.
See, I don't know if you know this, Seth, but I'm basically an event organizer at this point with
Like
all
a
the
wedding
events.
planner.
So I'm like a little below wedding planner.
Yeah.
With just the experience I have putting on events, I've made a lot of mistakes.
You're like almost like a promoter. You are Orlando's white Don King.
And then, so anyway, through doing these events and organizing them, I've made a lot of mistakes, and then I try to fix the mistakes, which makes more mistakes.
Well,
somehow.
it's usually a jerk reaction fix that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
things worse.
Yes. But by now I kind of get an idea of like what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and I feel like we're walking into like how many events?
disaster?
Well,
Yeah.
like,
Probably.
A
Probably.
couple
You
of
know,
suggestions.
because I got scared. I was like do you need a PA? Because then now like, I'm getting nervous for Seth in his event, and I'm asking if he needs a PA, and he told me yesterday he got a DJ, but there's no stage. And then I'm like, where's the DJ going to be? Just on the sidewalk?
Yeah. Well, he's gonna be under a tent that I bought. Dick's.
You bought a Coleman?
Oh, God. Oh, it's a Florida State tent.
It was on sale for
it's an FSU tent, like an old FSU tent.
$65.
It's got the old logo.
So the way our businesses are is there's the street, a sidewalk, and then there's a big step up with a railing, and then there's a big walkway in front of all of
You're
our
shutting down
businesses.
all
So
of
it's crazy.
Colonial, correct?
Yeah.
Right in front of gay public.
I'm actually going to be there like early and park my tampon perpendicular to the road to block off traffic and have a sign that says through traffic this way. And there's going to be an arrow around the back.
Someone's going to vandalize that tampon.
So
No one's ever said that before. No one's ever said that phrase before. You're creating languages, Sam.
And then
so that's my barricade on one side. And I have to figure out a barricade for the other side.
How about a drunkie the barricade?
Oh,
yeah!
Nice.
so. And then where is like you have to have a main focus for the audience to look at.
It's going to be in
The
the
main focus is basically the whole thing falling apart.
What?
Well, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to have everyone like in the street, kind of like Wall Street. It's gonna be like Wall. It's gonna be like Wall. Imagine
Just like that, but nothing like that.
Imagine,
So you're saying
They got stages.
Imagine Wall Street without the stages.
You basically picked the only bar downtown that is engineered and ready. Like Paul and his team are ready for street parties. And you have none of the stuff Paul has.
I've been doing it every night for 20 years.
20 years. 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. And then fine-tuning it. And then that's how you get like Wall Street.
They have bars on wheels that they roll around.
Yeah, you do a party for 25 years straight. And then guess what? It's pretty good now.
When you watch a parade that walk by on the street, everyone's standing on the sides and the outskirts on the outskirts of it, looking.
Oh my God, you're having a parade?
No, but that's exactly what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning everyone standing around in a big circle pattern.
Parade.
And then doing the demo right in the center of that big circle. Like somebody breaks out like in a breakdance competition.
You're having breakdance demonstrations?
Yeah, well, essentially it's a kata, so it's a dance, essentially.
It's the Shindogo Dojo grand opening.
So
with breakdancing demonstrations, a parade, Qdoba, Eat Me 360. What was it?
365. Eat Me 360.
Eat Me 360.
And
whatever.
And we have some great icy there.
You tell
I
people.
wish
look
my,
like they have really good food.
wish my
Yeah,
wife.
they do have really good food.
I wish
He's
my
awesome.
wife would whisper in my ear, "Eat Me 360."
So there's
And
you tell everybody to show up at 11. So everybody shows up.
sharp at 11 because I'm cutting that and I'm having my samurai sword. I'm gonna go. What are you gonna cut? I don't have scissors. I'm cutting a ribbon, but I'm using my sword. I'm gonna pull it
At
out.
11, but people are just like
Yeah,
partying.
you're gonna do 11:15.
Well, I might do 11:05.
no,
No, I'm
you-
telling you, it's sharp. I need to be 11:01. I can't.
Well, then
I
why don't you
can't
start
risk,
at 10?
I can't risk the city coming in. So
He's gonna get shut down.
Get in the truck, baby. Get in the truck. We're
If it
about to
gets-
miss a goddamn samurai
If it gets
sword.
shut down, we go to the back parking lot. It's,
Oh my
By
God.
the dumpsters?
See, I'm gonna be showing up to
All
an
right.
S show.
Everybody
you're
in the
not.
backs. Everybody
Trust
in the
me.
back to watch him cut the ribbon with the sword.
So
it's gonna be good.
hold on. So but
It'll
you're
all
saying
flow
11 to
together.
1, and then your samurai cut a sword
Okay,
for
maybe not
nobody.
right at 11. I'll wait a fair amount of time.
How
maybe
sharp is
11.
this
Do you want me to be there at 11?
Of course, yeah, because I'm
Or
doing
like
as
early.
soon as I cut that ribbon, I'm gonna go like women's demos are up. Yeah, it's gonna the DJ's gonna go, the girl's gonna go out there and do it to Karate Kid, a kata. Then all the black belts are gonna do a kata, and then I'm going to do what I really want to do to you, the big takedowns. I'm gonna take down my buddy, a bunch of takedowns. He's gonna attack me. And I'm gonna show how I defend it, and then I'm gonna break your leg.
Okay. So, and that is in what time frame?
In a 1 hour time span, all that is happening.
Okay, well that's 11 to noon.
Yeah.
What is that? The other hours?
Oh no. So then the
Defense class.
Yeah, the defense classes after
You
that.
don't listen.
Plus, after all, you watching all that, you can go around. We're selling. My Tracy will be there with her art with Wednesday's Clutch selling art. I'm having huge specials and discounts on thing. You get a dojo tour. You can go look around the dojo. You can sit around and enjoy the food and enjoy the ices that we're selling and stuff like that. So food, drinks. Just hang out for the last 45 minutes.
Is there
Enjoy
a
the
White
food.
Claw there? Like an alcohol?
It's BYOB.
Okay, so you
Oh man.
bring it
BYOB! What's up, everybody? It's Seth. welcome to the Jundogo Jogo Grand Opening! Oh yeah!
Bring your White Claw tube.
Yo, big 7-Eleven.
Big old.
Yeah, no, the big mumbo.
Do you have places for people to
White
park
Claw.
their trucks and sit on the bed of the truck and watch the demonstrations?
That might be
Kind of like a Muddy Gras or a
Yeah.
Might be a little different.
A Mudapalooza.
Thank you, Tom.
So where should we park?
Okay, so when you go on Woodward
You didn't think about
Street-
this.
No, I did. There's literally a giant parking lot on the corner of Woodward and Shine,
Okay.
which is a half a block. Like it's part of our street. So Woodward and Shine. Right,
And it's just
right there.
nobody's parking.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
open.
It's open.
Yeah.
It's an
Why
open
don't we
parking
just
lot. It's an
have
open parking
Why don't
lot.
we just have
It's
the
huge.
event there
It's
in the
huge.
parking lot?
We could, I guess. Yeah, we could.
Let's switch it. Let's
But no,
switch
I
it.
want to do my street. My street right in front of the
Okay,
dojo is
okay,
better.
okay.
That way it's easier to walk inside the dojo.
so
Or
the-
the jungle MMA Fitness is literally
Now-
5 more steps away from that parking
I'm
lot.
not calling you a
So you
liar,
can park at
but
the jungle.
anywhere near Mills, I've never seen a giant open parking lot with there's just saying open free,
There
just
is.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
There's always
They've done a
signs
lot
that
of
say,
changes
it's
to Mills.
part-
if you park here, I'll tow your ass.
Yeah.
Like, this is owned. This
No.
business's parking. We'll tow you if you go anywhere else. If you go to Seth's thing.
Shine and Woodward, right there in the corner. Shine and Woodward. There's a big. It's our parking lot to all our businesses right there.
Okay.
So it's a big parking lot. You can park there.
And like,
no,
how
no.
many people are we talking here?
That are going?
Yeah, well, they can go. You can fit.
Oh yeah.
How many cars?
Like how many cars?
Maybe like 6 cars?
No, you can fit a lot. There's probably at least room for like 50 cars there.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
Now we're talking.
Plus, you have the jungle, which is another, block over, which can fit another 25 cars.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right.
So that's not bad.
So we're starting with ribbon cutting ceremony with samurai sword.
Samurai sword, rib
right
cutting.
at 11
11
sharp.
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 Like when my
Okay.
bell, my alarm
Do
goes.
you say anything in Japanese at all? Or
Yeah,
like-
I'll probably say something.
Here, I'll put
like,
the echo. Let's go ahead. Let's simulate it. And action.
Ohayo gozaimasu! Watashi wa Sasuke desu. Dozo yoroshiku! Welcome to Jungle Dojo Grand Opening! Ha!
That's pretty awesome. All right.
A lot of disrespect, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do that.
I'm allowed to
I
do
did,
it.
although you
Yeah.
you did get
Yeah.
5 more people.
If you
to go.
throw in a
Norm's
stand,
in.
if you throw in a stand back and stand ready, or what is it?
Stand by.
Stand by. If you throw one of those in there and a Howard Dean scream, you'll get
yeah,
all-
15 more.
I'm allowed to do it when it's real Japanese, I'm saying, so it's fine.
So, that's happening 11. Then we do
11
all,
or 11:05.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I want to wait a little longer.
All right.
Okay.
And then my
So
thing.
do you
No,
walk?
no.
Are you going to
then the
announce
women,
him?
The women for. So I'm the DJ. We have Garrett Lauer there, man. Garrett Lauer.
Garrett knows.
Garrett Lauer's going to be there. And
He's been
gonna-
doing it for 20 years.
He's been doing it for a while. He's on his game. So he'll announce the next thing coming up is the female kata demonstration. So
Okay.
they will.
What's
go
the
out there.
main difference between a female kata demonstration and a male kata demonstration?
They get. Well, I was gonna do something really.
you go to the ninja.
Yeah, you're trying to make me.
You know
mess
what?
it up.
You're a bad person.
I
You
know.
know, I'm the good one. I'm the good one. See,
Yeah.
he actually tried
I
to
know
ruin
he
you.
can't fight it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know he can't fight it, so I throw it
I
out there because I'm
wanted to
like,
say-
I'm like, watch this dumb dumb ruin his own business.
I know. I was about to. I was literally about
Yeah,
to.
I'm like,
You
watch him
almost
ruin his
did-
own event.
See, I don't do that to you. I openly bully you. That way that
Yeah.
you look good because the people feel bad for you.
Yeah.
This is entrapment.
Daniel makes you, like, he walks you into the hippo.
No, it wasn't my hippo.
The river.
It was gonna be about something.
Walk you into the hippo rip.
I didn't say anything about hippos. I'll say
okay.
something about moodiness, but that's all right.
All right. And then
And then after the ladies go with their awesome kata demonstration, then we have Somai Shion, my sensei, my instructor, is
Nice.
bringing up a bunch of black belts from Cape Coral, Florida. They're all coming up, and then we're gonna do just a black belt demonstration. So one of our katas that we all do, that we haven't practiced together in years, but we'll do it. And we got
Try getting the band back together.
yeah, it'll be fine. We'll get it going.
so
You look confused.
do you think, like, what if another, you put out that challenge for another dojo?
Right.
What if they show up?
Yeah, what if they? And
Oh.
it's like Anchorman scenario. All
Oh my God.
All the dojos come together
Yeah.
for a massive
What if
fight.
they're like, did you hear he's having his grand opening?
Yeah.
And I heard he's got Eat Me 360 there.
365. Yeah.
365. Sorry.
So are you ready
Oh,
for the challenge?
yeah, 100%. I already know one dojo that's coming, not the fight, but we're actually pretty good friends, and it's similar.
Oh,
style
but
to
what
that.
if you think
Well,
they're
yeah, I
coming?
could, yeah.
This is how it happens in Game of Thrones. You look over and you look
Yeah, so
over
right
and you
away-
say, "Oh, what's that? Oh, you got that's Joe's dojo over there." And he waves, and all of a sudden he's like, "It's like the Red Wedding scenario,"
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like,
That's true.
Kill them.
And all of a sudden, hell breaks loose in this tiny parking lot.
I'd hope that you guys would be on my side instead of just sitting on
Definitely.
the side eating your fat
Oh my God.
showering down on Cubans. And
No, definitely
sharing
going to be on your side.
it. Okay.
What are we gonna do?
I'd immediately get in his car and start driving through the crowd.
No, just do donuts around us as we're battling in the middle. Just-
Yeah.
So let's talk about the karate business because I'm interested in how it works.
Oh, it's not working.
So, and this has been your dream, right? Since a long time ago to open up. Like, obviously, you've had the jungle for how many years has it been around?
Well,
now?
my dream was to be a ninja assassin, but that's not happening.
So the jungle started what year?
2008, late, the very end of 2008.
Okay, so it's
Right after Kimbo.
yeah. So and it's been around for a while
Yeah.
and popular, and that I feel established, and
Very
now
established, yes.
you're opening up this dojo. How many other dojos? I don't know. Not even like I'll see them, and then I'll see.
I still think you should have
In
called
the
it a
Mills 50?
brojo.
well, just in like
in the Mills 50 area, there's none.
in Central Florida.
Oh, yeah, there's lots.
Like, are we
I've
talking
never
dozens?
I mean,
or-
I've seen karate schools,
Yeah.
but this is the first. I don't really know that much about it. It's the first dojo I've seen. Like, I've heard it in movies, but never seen one. I've seen karate schools. That's different,
Is
right?
that the same?
Well, no, it's the same. It means
Well,
it's a
yours
dojo
is very
just
traditional, though.
learning facility. Yeah, but it's very traditional. Yeah, there's maybe there's two others that I know of in Central Florida that are traditional like this.
and
That's it.
and
I like that you counted out loud to 2. You're
Yeah, I
like,
was like,
one,
one,
2.
Two.
He also had his hands out. Just
And I
so
had-
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
to make
he
sure
did
people
count his
know that.
fingers.
I do that too.
I'm sorry.
And-
I'm bad.
That's how I do tipping.
does it work like? All right, so I'm a customer. I want to get my black belt.
I
right?
think you and your boys should sign up.
And then, so my goal is to get my black belt. I can go to your dojo from white belt to black belt if
Yep.
I wanted to, and you have a system and a
Cur-
plan,
a curriculum
that,
all laid out of what you have to know for each belt that you progress and go forward. Yes.
and is your curriculum like? Can every dojo have a different curriculum?
Yeah.
Or if it's not up to par, then the
Oh,
other
you mean
people
like
will-
Patty versus Nowie?
Yes, yeah.
He's doing
like
well in the dive world. There's there's
Oh
different,
yeah, I'm Patty certified. I
yeah.
gotcha.
I'm Nowie. Yeah,
Oh, we
yeah. I'm
can't
Nowie
talk
certified.
Anymore. We can't talk anymore.
Yeah, but Patty.
That's like Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah, it is like, and that's kind of how people draw lines, right? You're one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference too, because if you have a belt from a particular dojo that's not accredited by
yeah.
the
See, that's just that my lineage and my curriculum comes from Japan, from our Hanshi. Well, that's in Seattle now, but then from Japan all the way down through the system to me. So I can't change it if I wanted to, because it comes from above.
Gotcha. Unless you wanted to do your
My
own thing and
own-
not be affiliated with this, which actually has built a great name.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
that has worth.
Right. Yes,
Okay,
it has
that makes
much
sense.
worth, yeah.
So
When
it's-
people hear the name and they know or they do the research, they're like, oh, the lineage and who
It's
you're
like
who you're
acting,
with.
then. It's like, oh,
it's
they studied with X, or they studied under, or they know this form of acting. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That
And at
makes
this
sense.
point in my career, I don't need that, but I've been with these people since I was 6
I
or
think
7
it's
years old.
cooler that
So,
your form of karate is vetted and has a historical lineage. I
Yeah,
think that's
for sure.
cooler than you're just like, hey, I know karate really well, and here's some karate moves.
Right.
Do what I do.
Right.
I like it better that you have it.
Which I would still have behind me. I would still say this is where I trained, this is where I came from, but now I'm doing my own thing. But it's I don't think it's the same.
What's the standard as far as like training wise? Like 2 days a week?
No, with
3
everyone's
days?
schedule now, it's I'm lucky if I get people 2 days a week.
Okay.
But I tell people I really want you to try to get 3 days a week, but 2 days a week, sometimes one, unfortunately.
What do you do,
But
like,
two's normal.
You do like spin kick Mondays, punching Wednesdays, and what do you do? Breaking boards Fridays.
Yeah, we
you
don't do
you
breaking.
save the boards to Fridays, right?
Because
that's what
I actually don't have class. Classes are Monday through Thursday and Saturday.
Do you have the boards that you can Velcro back together?
Yeah, I got a video of me I thought I posted on my
The
Instagram.
ones are you? Yeah.
I threw 2 of them in the air and I broke them with back fists and they
Oh,
No,
that's
but you're
cool.
talking about the Velcro ones.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not Velcro.
The
They're
ones you
slide,
use for kids.
They're slide together.
The ones I use for kids, where if you have that one kid that's just a little bit weak, you can just kind of give him a little flex.
Yeah,
And,
that's what
it'll
I
just
do.
pop
I
up.
usually
and
flex
you'll
it
be like-
back.
And then you look at his dad, and you're like, still got your 70
We should see if your
bucks, you
kids
know?
can. Are you bringing your kids? You see if they can break it. Make fun of them if not.
His wife doesn't know he's going to be there. In fact, he will wait until the
Right.
morning. He will
Yes.
wait until the
Oh,
morning
he's gonna
of
be
to
late.
tell her. Yeah, he'll be
She
late.
should do the free women's self-defense class. Really.
I told her I was
She'll be
going
doing
to,
it on Tom in the driveway.
Yeah, I told her I was going to Home Depot. And I'll be back in an hour.
I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah. Because I'm afraid that honestly, if like I wanted my sons to go to the land cruise, and then Crystal was against it, but I want them to.
Just out with it.
Okay.
You want them to see you do things.
But you don't want to see this?
I want them to be impressed by
Yeah.
their old man.
Yeah.
And so I want to just impress them, and then I want to be their hero always. Like,
Yeah, I
and
get
then
it.
I feel like it's slipping because the other day Max now associates me with liking plants, and then like was telling my niece like Daddy likes plants, and like so that's what they know
Did you
me
hear
as.
the
He
negative
loves
thing?
his plants more
Yeah.
than us.
No,
But you-
no.
no. Even
But
Max
it's-
knows that
it's-
if you like plants too much,
I don't want them to know me as the guy that wanders around the house liking plants.
one of Maisie's,
Why not? That's who you are.
One of Maisie's dance buddies looked at me to my face and said, and then looked at Maisie and goes, "You have a little daddy."
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one hurt.
So
I would have kicked him right.
I was afraid to invite my sons to this, and then we're all standing in the parking lot.
They might get the ninja bug. They'll get the ninja
No,
bug.
but there's like a couple people.
Oh no, there's
around.
oak trees around us, so it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
shaded.
There's some of your students. There's like your students' parents there. They're standing there. Nobody there. We're like,
It's that uncomfortable
Oh,
thing
I
where
have a
you
lot
get
of
on the
people
mic
coming.
and you're like,
yeah. The feedback is real bad.
Hey, thanks everybody for coming today. I'd like to thank Eat Me All the Time 365 for bringing some food. And up next is
Everybody's doing the routine, but it's all off. And they're doing the Dukins, and then you're like,
well, the routine, they only practice.
and then you're kicking the bat is not breaking, and then you miss and kick me in my chest, and I'm like, my heart. And then,
Yeah.
and then my-
that
and
might
then
happen.
you're like, I should have never done this. This is stupid. It's a waste of time.
my
You suck.
My sons are waiting in the truck.
they're like, what is this?
They're just
Because your wife won't let them
They're
out
like-
the heat because they got little Swedish
Yeah.
skin.
yeah, and then they're like, my dad is a disappointment.
Aw.
That's what I
And then
imagine.
Tommy's like, Home Depot sucks.
Yeah, so I don't want it to be that, and I'm afraid it is.
Well,
so
that's sad and disparaging on my.
Well, I-
I
listen-
think that it might be.
no, I agree
Tell
to this.
tell them that they're gonna get to see some ninjas.
Ah.
Take some heat off of yourself. Put the heat on the actual martial art.
Yeah,
Do you
Guys.
have any weapons? Like,
I have weapons. We're not doing any weapons demonstration.
How about you whack-
What
have,
kind of
I have
weapons?
them in the dojo.
Somebody in the chat
and I
room
had to yell
said-
at the kids to stop touching them. all the time.
Somebody in the chat room said you should whack a white claw off Tom's head with a nunchuck.
Oh, I could do that. I have nunchaku.
Yeah. Well, then
Yeah.
you hit me in the temple, and
Yeah, I
I'm never
don't-
the same.
I don't know. That's not a good idea.
You can turn to some sort of savant afterwards.
No, it never goes that way. It always,
no.
it always goes. He's,
Opposite.
he's just has a different personality.
And then it is weird. He was like, "What
he's
happened to him?
racist.
Why is he talking like that?" It's like, wait, we're trying to hit a white claw off his head.
Nunchuck.
Why would you do that?
We're behind a dojo
So,
in a hot parking lot.
what kind of weapons do you have at the dojo?
You have that stick with the blade, the
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
long blade, the long stick.
The banana blade.
What's it called? A nagu nagu?
Naginata. Naginata. It's a woman.
Naginata.
It's usually it's a well, not a female weapon, but mostly the females use that weapon. It's
The naginata?
Naginata.
Oh,
Naginata. But I have.
I'm not saying that. Naginata.
But I have, I have the samurai swords. I have a shinai. I have the bow staff. I have nunchaku. I have sai. I have tonfa. I have kama. Kama's the really deadly. That one's like hardcore.
Tua. He
Kama.
plays for
Kama.
Miami.
Kama.
So what's that? What does that look like?
It looks like it's a wooden stick with a sickle that goes like this on the end of it.
What's it
Oh,
called?
you use two of them, right?
use two of 'em,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen that one.
Kama.
My niece is, she's does
Yeah,
karate.
yeah.
I remember being a little kid.
She has all the same weapons. It's awesome.
I remember seeing a guy at a tournament like slice his hand almost like I saw a flapping skin just almost fall because the guy went like this like in a kata demonstration and hit his hand and like pretty much lobbed half his hand off.
Oh, man,
it was just
they were
hanging
real?
there.
I thought they were
no,
plastic.
real.
Oh, my
No,
God.
not. See, that's the thing. Ours traditional. When we do it, we use legit stuff. They use like fake plastic ones that you can fling around and fly around that are just dance stuff.
I like it.
Those are-
Nothing makes me like the demonstration more than when your sword is floppy. I like a good
Yeah,
floppy,
a floppy
sword.
sword.
Yeah, I like a floppy sword.
With hard, rigid
Like
swords.
a strange matte gray color.
Can I go there just to learn the weapons training?
Not
Yeah.
just so
I'm strictly weapons only. I don't do none of the, air punching.
you have to take karate for 1 year before you get into the Okinawan Kabuto, which is the weapon system that we have.
The weapon system, the Okinawa Kabuki.
Okinawan
Can I do it
Kobudo.
online?
Yeah. Is there an online?
No, I don't know.
How about like a 3-day Stormy Hill Harley Davidson course?
That's what, honestly, as much
Rest
as it
in
does
peace,
suck,
right?
because people do want to come in and do that only, but that just kind of makes it
Why
more
don't you
legit
do-
that you have to be in our karate, because it goes hand in hand. The same stances, the same kind of techniques and kihon that we do in the regular karate, it translates right over to the weapons. So we want you to
Do
be good at
like
that first.
Machine Gun America, where you can just like pay an extreme amount of money to go there and stab a dummy with size. You know? Like,
Chop
you know.
bamboo. You
Yeah.
set up the bamboo
I mean-
sticks and then you samurai that.
And people get bored of it easily.
You
and
can do
just charge-
sword
you charge-
anytime. You can
charge-
start that right away. That's because that's
Oh,
my
really?
system. Yeah, we have sword that every Saturday at 9:30 that you can just do sword.
Take sword class.
Oh, that's,
50
okay, now we're talking.
I'm texting him like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm taking 50 milligrams, heading to sword class."
That's only $50. $50 a month. That's cheap for every
Dude.
Saturday 9:30.
$50 a month for sword?
You got to go to sword class.
Yeah,
Can
that's-
you legally own a sword?
Yeah,
what?
I
What are you
got mine
talking
on right
Like
now.
when I'm in, like, yeah, we'll just carry it around. Or
I carry
whatever.
mine on my back everywhere I go.
I thought there
You
was
just
like
say it's just tell people it's an umbrella.
There's two things I carry everywhere I go. Is a 5. I carry a 5-can Villain White Claw tube and my sword.
No, can you because there's a I guess is that concealed? They get the
I don't
blade has to be
Oh, a
like,
certain length.
I
less
don't
than 6
conceal
inches.
mine.
Yeah.
I have it right in plain view.
But can I have my sword in my truck at any time?
In
I'm
your,
pretty
in your
sure,
sword
yeah.
rack.
I think it has to be like 2 steps before use or something like that.
That's a gun. I
Give me
think.
2 steps. Give me
No,
2
no,
steps.
it's the same with
I've
the
heard that
sword.
song.
Is it but if it's in the sheath, is
That's
it,
one.
one.
I don't keep
And
mine
then
in
2
a
is cutting the head off. 3. 2.
I don't keep mine in a sheath either.
How do you start with the sword? Like
How do you what,
how
sorry?
good are you at sword?
I'm pretty good actually. I when I took it before when I was younger, I made it like halfway through the ranks. I'm starting all over again because it's a different kind of system of sword that they do. So I just started about 2
You're
months ago.
doing new
doing it.
sword.
And you start with a bow. It's called a boken, so it's a wooden sword.
I know all the old sword, but now these kids are doing new sword.
Yeah.
That's just
It's
too
So
confusing.
you start with a wooden sword for the first 3 months. Then you move to a dull samurai sword. Then you move to a sharp samurai sword.
I
after that.
feel like it's flawed because wooden sword stick.
yeah.
Essentially smoothed out.
What about
stick.
what's that thing that wrestlers always use to
Shinai? I have those too. I
trick
use
us-
those for the kids.
It does nothing. It's supposed to be like, oh, he's hit him with the. They
They
always called
sting.
it.
They sting, man.
But what did they call it? They called it.
Oh, blackjack.
No,
Was it
no,
that
it's a
little thing?
bamboo. It's literally
It's
a piece
called-
of bamboo that they just split into a
Yeah.
bunch of times.
It's a
and
shinai,
it's
but
like
they don't call it that?
No, they call it
I don't know.
They're like, oh my god, a kendo stick. They hit him with a kendo
Which-
stick.
that's the white way of saying it, I guess. Yeah.
Or
Kendo
slightly
stick.
racist too.
Yeah,
Right? It sounds.
I mean, it is used in kendo, and it is a stick, I guess.
You know what's a big
Shinai.
thing?
I like Shinai better.
yeah.
That's better.
Can I borrow a samurai sword? Because a big thing on TikTok is chopping soda bottles with samurai swords.
No, only fat
Oh.
kids do that.
Oh, really?
No, but I can get
Is
it
that
a lot of
big?
followers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do that.
What,
I
you
can-
gonna take your shirt off. And
I can
go
chop.
back
I can chop the
stabbing
white claw.
watermelons?
I can do the white claw with a sword on your head. I know I can do it. I'm
And then you have to flip and catch all the white claw in your mouth.
I
Chop
listen.
your
I
lips
got
as
off.
soon
balls.
as I cut the ribbon, I'll turn to you and cut the white
No.
claw.
I got balls like
and
but
then yell,
not that
"Stop,
much.
Asian hate!"
But I'll say something in Asian before. Like, yeah.
That's a step too far. Like
I
do
think your
just a-
boys would like that though if Daddy's just lime white claws cascading over your tight polo.
Yeah, but he gets me right up.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Up in the nose.
I've
and
seen that. Have you
chops
seen that
my nose.
video? We played it on the show
cannot-
years ago. Have you seen the samurai sword video where the guy's screwing around
Yeah,
at the
Did he mess up?
party?
Did he
I'm
mess
not
up?
doing that.
Don't
At
do
the
it.
party.
Oh yeah, no, I think I've seen that.
It's
a
a
while
bad
ago.
one. He
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
die, but it's bad. Like you see the guy screwing around. He like
Yeah, yeah.
chops him to the side. Oh God, there's blood everywhere.
I'm
My-
not
my-
letting you chop a samurai white claw.
My
Like
sensei,
you're-
my instructor was one of the guys getting it done too. He had a potato put on his neck, laid down, and one of our senior instructor, one of our head guys from Japan, blindfolded with a samurai sword, boop, potato goes. I was there watching live.
No way,
I swear
really?
to God, split in half, fell right out of his throat. Nothing on his throat at all.
I believe that, and that's a
chopped the potato.
Chopped
No,
a potato off his throat, blindfolded.
Wow.
See,
the guy's sick.
I'm more impressed by the guy laying there. than
Yeah,
the-
that's my instructor. He's gonna be there Saturday. Shihan.
So he.
What? I can lay on the ground. I
So
look like a
Daichi,
potato.
so you know Daichi, my neighbor, my good friend that lives behind me in my mother-in-law suite.
Yeah, Corona Man.
Yeah. His Corona man.
Well, that's what Seth called him.
No, he had Corona. Yeah, but he survived.
I love our jobs,
His
and I love
dad-
this show. It's my favorite thing. I'm having a lot of fun.
His father was my instructor growing up, and he's the one coming. That's who I'm under.
Is
That's his father.
he a good martial artist? Your friend?
Daichi?
Yeah, because I never.
He's
hear,
good. It's just not his thing.
He doesn't feel it,
He
right?
doesn't
Yeah,
feel it.
he
like
was
I do,
telling me
yeah.
that at your birthday dinner that he's like what you talk about. He's the guy that's got the skills, but it's not his passion.
But it's not his passion. Yeah.
So,
He's
but
great,
he still
amazing.
knows
Yeah.
about all
Oh
this.
yeah, no, he still teaches once in a blue moon for me.
yeah, like
helping out, but
he's awesome, but he's just like.
yeah.
it's
You know,
fine.
it's like I guess it's having anything a father figure that did one thing and it was was around you 24/7. You kind of like
That's who I
rebel
want to get
from
in here
it.
to talk about because you're always bringing this up
Yeah,
about
yeah.
like what we talk about like Tiger Woods or the Mannings. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
we talk
yeah.
Archie
If-
Manning,
yeah.
his kids and stuff like that. And it's funny that
Sometimes your sons aren't into what you're into.
Yeah, 'cause-
and when they are,
Mine
they're
will be.
really
when
good.
I met
Mine
your
will
friend
be,
Taishi, you were explaining, and he was explaining to me. He's like, "Yeah, I enjoy it, but not like these, because at the dinner was all everybody there was like the jujitsu.
Yeah,
I mean, these
jiu-jitsu,
guys are
yeah,
like
yeah.
they live it.
yeah,
You know, like it's everything they do is all about the grappling.
Right.
I would like to. There's got to be some sort of trick with the potato thing,
Gotta be.
right?
I mean, I think what it is,
And
I think they
extreme
described
feeling,
it. I mean,
muscle memory.
you can still cut somebody, but I think when it goes from some sort of object to something else, when there's a little bit of space in between, you can kind of press and it doesn't cut. I guess
it's not going
'Cause
to.
you have to.
Yeah, if you were a tiny bit off, it's not instant death, right?
Right.
But
Well, yeah.
I don't know
though.
that Seth knows. He's kind of iffy about it.
There's a. I remember hearing some sort of explanation, but it's still obviously risky, and you still could get your throat
Yeah.
cut.
yeah, I
You
mean,
want to do that one?
no,
Yeah,
I do. No, I do not trust that much. I barely
Put your
trust
bear
it.
what
costume
if-
on.
What if you laid there
You
and we
trust
put
me to
the
break
sword
down your
on your
leg.
neck and then had him throw the potato in your neck?
Okay.
Switch
So,
it.
yeah.
That's not a bad.
It's pretty
But I'm gonna
impressive.
throw it hard as fuck. Oh,
No, that's fine. I won't cut it out.
sorry. Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Hey, we're having fun. We're open, baby.
It slipped. It
Yeah,
slipped.
No big deal.
Yeah.
That's why we have
See,
a producer.
the leg thing, I feel like
Sorry,
Sam.
Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
once
Sorry,
you go
Sam.
through the bat, like to kick and go through my femur and my muscle, that's a step too far. Like,
Well, I got to get through your muscle first, and then it.
Yeah.
Then
Then yeah. So I feel like it's gonna
Is he
stop.
kicking your legs?
Your leg's gonna be so.
You
Yeah.
have little legs,
You
though,
do
dude.
have little
Yeah, you
legs.
do have
yeah.
little
He's
legs.
gonna snap. in
No, he does
half.
have strong legs.
Look
He
at
does
So you
have-
have to be in a certain.
But they're tiny. Oh my God, you have the tiniest white legs.
Your legs are smaller than mine.
You have
You
tiny
some
white
small
legs. You have tiny little.
Let's wax your legs
Oh my
and put you on
God.
TikTok.
You
Hold on.
look like Homestar Runner.
Oh, watch out!
Oh God,
He's tearing the studio apart.
Oh,
Is he
Bubba,
mad?
get in there. He broke the studio.
God, I was just trying to show TikTok my legs.
TikTok.
TikTok.
On
On
Twitch, you
Twitch.
dumb.
Man, you old man.
No, it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
have to
I
go
knocked-
way higher than it.
I
Go higher.
knocked a.
Go higher than it.
Oh,
and
okay,
then-
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
So it's all about the stance you have to take when I kick. So you have to be in a nice, deep, strong stance in order to take this
I
impact.
see. I can't. How low can you drop?
It doesn't have to be low. He has to have his front
How
leg
low
bent.
can you go?
How many?
Yeah. I'm stiff. So I
He
can't
is
go
very
low.
stiff. He's not
We'll
flexible.
warm me up beforehand.
Like this.
But it's going to be the other leg.
You have the whitest legs I've ever seen.
Oh, this is bad. Oh, I don't like this.
I do have skinny, tiny-
The bricks are going to be. Here.
No, they're strong, but they're.
He's gonna need something to hold on to. He can't balance.
Yeah. Do you want me to,
Hold his hand?
Do you want me to stand there and you can hold onto my potato-like body?
Oh no, you can get him in the back like Yoda. Just hold on to him in the back so it weighs him down more.
Okay, I can do that.
My legs are so small. I look like a miracle happened. I got up out of my wheelchair.
You're the kid from Mac and Me.
I have genetically stick legs, and it's not my fault.
Every time you go to get a glass of water, I'm amazed that you're walking for the first time. Every time.
Yeah. It's not, and no matter what I do, I get like if I gained all the weight, it would just poof my muffin. I would just be 100%.
Can you get his legs beefed up, Seth?
In 2-3
No,
days.
just, I mean, in general.
Oh, yeah.
we
well,
can do
that's-
the injections like those guys do their biceps, and you get big lumpy legs.
Yes.
Synthol injections.
Yeah.
but
Just
if,
synthol your legs up.
that's genetic though. Like no matter how much weight I lift with my legs and my quads, they're never gonna grow big. It's like your
Probably
ass. You know, it's like no matter how much ass
trouble
workout,
spot.
you're never gonna get a
Excuse me.
big, nice ass. I'm seriously. If you have,
Do you want a big nice ass?
of
It's an ass
course,
workout.
I want a
there's
big nice
squats
ass.
and things. There's ass workouts.
Yeah, those ass workouts.
But you ask a
Do you
girl.
do you do any ass workouts? I just want
Yes.
to look good in that bunchy bikini when I'm at Blizzard Beach.
I do squats and do other things.
I just want that when I wear my bikini bottoms. I just want that. It's not Brazilian. It's that bunchy.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
want
The bunchy
that,
scrunch.
and I just want the cheekiness of it. I want my cheeks to be. I want a tight cheekiness, and the first thing I gotta get rid of all the heat bumps back there.
Ooh.
So Seth, at this point in time, you've been ripped for a while, right?
Are you trying to get him fat?
No, I wonder if you just if the allure of it wears off, like because
The
I
allure.
think all of us normos, as Seth calls them or whatever,
narps.
Narps.
we like fantasize about what if I was ripped and then like I'd mow the shirt or mow my lawn with no shirt or like walk around jog with no shirt. It's like to
walk
show
around
off
naked all the time.
to
Yeah.
show off my ripped body.
I don't do it to show off. It's just comfortable doing
Yeah.
it. Like I feel a little. I feel like I'm trying to show it. Like when I answer the doors, like I walk around all day without a shirt on, like in my house and stuff like that. So when the door rings or something like that, or somebody comes to the front door, like UPS or something like that, I open the door. Normally it's without a shirt on, and then I'm like, oh, I feel like an asshole opening this with. Like I feel like
Yes.
a douche. I feel really douchey doing it, but it's just how I normally just walk around.
because it's almost like you have
So I
a
don't like that.
costume of muscles.
I guess.
With
A
a
lot of women do this.
I'm just shocked that you're concerned that you look like a douche when you drive a tampon car. I don't.
That's all for sure. Deep down, I'm not a douche. Well, I'm not that douchey. I don't like showing off and being like, "Oh, look at me! Look what I'm not
I
like. I'm not. I'm
understand.
not like that.
Seth.
That has nothing
That
to
is
do with
very
it.
much look
That's
at
to
me.
see little kids go, "Oh, yeah, cool," and I rev my engine. I get off on that. That's cool.
That's
He
a
does
weird
it to impress little kids.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
He gets off on impressing kids.
I can't.
Don't you?
You're
you
making
idiot.
it weird. You're making it weird.
Yeah.
I would go a step further. Who doesn't get off on impressing kids?
But I know the thing is I'm not doing
It's
it to look
fun.
cool. I know that it looks douchey and it's
Tom
kind of
and
the
Dan,
parody
we
of
impress
itself.
kids. What's the
I
problem?
understand that
we
it's
don't,
douchey.
but we wouldn't be opposed to it because impressing people is the goal of life.
But that brings up a good question. Can you enjoy douchey things and not be a douche? Of course
Absolutely.
you can. And I
100%.
think it's our fault as society
Yeah.
for labeling people douches.
It's the yuck and yum thing.
because
man.
they enjoy douchey things. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm mean to Star Wars people, and I've deemed it nerd, but
You watch Mandalorian. It's
I
fine.
don't really care. I think you enjoy what you want to enjoy, but it's not fun for me to come on here and not have an opinion about it. So unfortunately, I'm going to go that direction.
like what if you were nicest guy in the world, but you just enjoyed like you full affliction, pointy boots,
Yeah, those
I know
people
those
exist.
guys,
Yeah.
gigantic truck.
we know one.
Like like Monster Energy drink.
We-
Like, you know, it's like
We recently worked with a guy who is the nicest human being in the world. I'm sending it to you telepathically. He's the nicest person in the world, extremely successful at what he does.
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah,
dresses
yeah,
this
yeah,
way.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
will never stop dressing this way. And again, he's the nicest human being on the planet.
You're right. And society looks at that and then
They do.
and then puts a personality type.
It's
to
not
that.
fair.
It isn't fair because
It's not
Seth,
fair.
I think Seth, you get it all the time, right? Because people assume that you're this workout MMA, with the car you drive. They label you right off the bat.
Right. Yeah, they're only half right.
Yeah. Then they're like, oh my God, he's just a crazy paranoid hypochondriac.
Most of the email I get about you, if I'm just being honest, are people that are like, "Oh man, I thought he was a douche, but he's not a douche." And now I just feel really sorry for him. Like no,
It
because
was
they're
better
like he's
before.
tortured. It was because they're like
Now they
he's
feel sorry.
tortured.
He needs help.
They
Yeah.
are.
They're like,
They're
look how-
concerned about you, dude. I have had no shortage of four different doctors, like mental health doctors, email me and
really?
say some therapy would be good for him.
Oh shit, Dr. Satan.
No.
I don't like
she
when
read the one in the air. Remember the big one?
Oh, I forgot. Damn.
Yeah, like this. I'm just saying
Sorry,
that
sir.
we have a lot of listeners, and they hear these things and they dig in. They're like, douche, not a douche. Oh,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's worse now. Yeah.
Crazy.
well.
So this Saturday,
trying to
show
say
up right at 11.
Yeah, get there early.
11:05.
Yeah, you might
11:05.
11:05. You might miss the samurai accident.
Yeah.
Free unlimited parking at some parking lot right
Unlimited.
there.
Right there, Shine and Woodward.
Yeah.
You won't be. Or the Jungle. Go park at the Jungle. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for a
You're gonna be
demonstration.
dancing to Bruno Mars.
DJ, some avant-garde.
ice cold. Tom's out there dancing.
I prefer.
Straight masterpiece.
I prefer the God.
What?
The balloons in the background. What's the balloon? The chick was topless.
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke. What's that song?
The one that you got sued.
Blurred
No,
lines.
no, yeah,
Blurred
Blurred Lines.
Lines.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Will you play?
Oh.
Can you tell your DJ to play Blurred Lines?
You can tell
That's
him.
like 12 years
He's,
old.
he's taking requests. You guys can tell him. anything.
2013, Blurred Lines.
I want Blurred Lines. I want that other song.
And now, to open the dojo, it's Tom dressed as Robin Thicke, lip-syncing Blurred Lines from 2013. And here comes Dan wearing a Pharrell hat.
I want this some kind of sadness, like the.
Some kind of sadness.
Some kind of sadness. Oh, there will be sadness.
Do you know that song?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star? What were you doing?
Yeah.
Did you
I know.
just sing a song and say the song's called
a
some kind?
certain type of sadness. You know that?
Oh.
You know.
Yes.
I want that song.
Okay.
I don't know. what
Somebody
that
that you used to know?
Yes.
Oh,
Somebody
Gautier.
that you
Yeah.
go
Gautier.
That's
Oh,
20 years
oh
old.
my God.
That was my second.
Wow.
That's when I broke up with my second fiance. And I remember playing that
You're
over
standing in
and
the
over.
back of Smoothie King?
Yeah, no, that was the first
Can
one.
we
The
do
second
Name
one.
That Tune with Tom where I just get to guess the songs that he does?
How'd you guess that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
And
that's
now to open the dojo, it's Tom Van dressed as Robin Thicke and Dan wearing a Pharrell hat singing Gautier is someone that I used to know. I never made a bad me out.
that was a good song.
All right. We'll see you on Saturday.
Well, yeah, go to karateoforlando.com if you want to get the address.
There you
Okay.
go.
Karateoforlando.com.
Karateoforlando.com and a bye-bye. This is coming back, isn't it?
What?
Is this beginning or
Welcome
coming back?
to.
Oh, it's
Ah,
welcome to.
I
You
blew it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
blew it. And I decided that I was just going to blow it live.
That's fine.
Now, we have the option on this show to re-record that.
No.
But why would we?
No.
Why would we do that?
This is.
Do it live.
Do it
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
We're open.
It's like folding your garbage before you throw it away. Why would you do it?
Why would you do it? That's really good. That's really good. You got our guest, too. He was like, I've never heard something more poignant. Like, you really, the people love this term, especially when you're trying to, like, speak down to people. You know what? What you said there really resonated with our next guest.
So, how you doing, Gary?
Doing well. Tom, Dan, Sam, thanks for having me
This
back.
is our buddy Chucklin' Gary.
And
No, I'm kidding. No, this is our buddy we had on about a month ago,
yes,
and he is an Adventure-mun,
yes.
and he was the bike packing man.
Yes.
And then that led to us kind of spiraling out of control into the idea that you have done all these different adventures. Now, I will tell you something that I want to put you on tilt just a little bit. Our sales guy, Travis Butler, was talking about how awesome it would be to be as tall as you. Because what are you? You're 6'7", right?
Correct. 6'7".
And the first thing he said was he'd have a big old dong
Yeah, yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole thing.
Okay, he said two things. He's like, it'd be awesome to be that tall, big dong, and you stand and see concerts.
Yeah, that is what he said.
And then I was
That's
like,
an exact quote.
Yep.
That is an exact quote, complete with
Yeah.
actually a pretty decent impression of Butler.
And then I said, well, what about the airplane seats and the bus seats and
Tiny
all
cars,
the car, and
public transportation,
the bed,
finding clothing,
Yeah.
shoes.
It's way more of a hindrance than it is a benefit, I think, unless you're a basketball player or you use it for some sort of sport. But Gary's got to buy like a Mambo
Mega
bike, and then
Yeah,
like
his bike is 2 times more expensive than my bike.
and I'm sure he can't go and he's got to fly like upgraded all the time, or sit in the like the emergency what is it called?
We're gonna tell
you.
We're gonna tell you how it is to be tall, Gary.
So
I'm flying to Utah next week for a Ragnar adventure race, and I had to get the exit row seats. It's the only way I can really fit.
Ragnar.
Ragnar.
That's right,
Oh,
Tom.
so you're
Ragnar.
one of them there, Ragnar. Okay.
Oh, no.
I see what we're dealing
It does
with.
sound like a
I
racial
didn't
slang.
know we was dealing with one of them there. Ragnar.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
saying
there's
that
nothing wrong.
because
I
you don't
just-
know what.
I just made it sound bad.
Yeah. Anyway, and then flying's a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah. I got to be masked up the whole time, but
Oh no, we meant
Next
it.
to legs.
Well, calm down, Gary. I think we need to bring your politics
God,
into this.
I make 3 Ragnar jokes, and this guy's ready to storm the Capitol.
Anti-mask. He thought he's like, well, I'm gonna tell you about these masks.
He's like, ah, good. I feel comfortable here. I can let my guard down.
Yeah. All right. So, Gary, I know last time we talked to you, we talked about some adventure. What did we turn it?
We talked about bike packing. You can't
Bike
remember
packing,
what
yeah.
we talked to Gary. Do you remember having Gary on the show?
Yes, I do. But I forgot it's bike packing, correct?
correct.
And so what's our, and then we got some questions about some stories that you said you had. But first, what are some new adventures you're doing?
So I did go on a bike packing trip up in Georgia called Fried Clay. It was a 130-mile course. And it was more of a gravel type course. So Dan, once you get that gravel bike up and running, we can connect on some of the cool gravel courses.
I heard it's really hard though, because you're not necessarily, it's not really mountain biking, but I heard that you are definitely having to adjust to the idea that your bike is not going to grip quite as good as you're used to on pavement, right?
It's like running in sand?
I guess.
Right. So depending on the terrain, the surface that you're riding on, it's going to, gravel itself, if it's a pure gravel course, it's a little bit looser than, road or asphalt. But I think it'd be much more enjoyable because you're out there, you're away from cars, you're out in the, the woods, exploring the great outdoors.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And a little bit safer. You might get hit by a turtle or an alligator, but not a wild Orlando driver.
I just
no drivers, maybe a bobcat.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Gary, have you seen The Octopus Teacher?
Why do you gotta?
I have not seen The Octopus Teacher.
Because
but I am a professor, Tom, if you were.
Yeah.
I just put some 2 and 2 together. Like, there are these type of humans, right? And it's like this guy and The Octopus Teacher is like similar to Gary. And a lot of these people that you see that do these type of things are like, they personally challenge themselves to absurdly hard things, right?
Yeah.
And then they become obsessed with doing them, and then they win at them, they accomplish it, and they move on to the next thing, and it's all and it's seemingly not for the money or just to make themselves better and smarter and like to contribute somehow to society or personal goals, like to better themselves, but it's for no money or anything other
Personal
than
achievement.
than just doing it. And it's why are you making us all look so bad, Gary?
Oh, okay. Now we're getting to
you
it.
and the octopus guy.
No, the octopus guy's a crazy person.
No, but
you're obsessed with this octopus man. I haven't even seen this.
Yeah, but it's like he's doing these extraordinary things, and like he's got so much discipline that we're all looking at Gary and the octopus man.
I have never looked at Gary and the octopus man, sir. Take that back.
Wow.
That sounds like a children's book. Gary and the octopus man.
And it makes us all feel bad because we're like, I'm not doing nothing. And I'm like,
there is a part of me that felt like that last night when I was texting you last night. And I sent you a picture of me playing video games. And as soon as I hit send, this is true.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit send, I instantly got, and you know me so well, I got anxiety because I was like, he's going to clown me for doing nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
I am wasting time. Gotta be working. Gotta be working.
Yeah. It's get living or get living. God damn it. Get busy living or get busy dying.
Is that how it goes? I don't think that's how it goes.
Tom, you can do anything you put your mind to, Tom. So it's just a matter of breaking down into component parts and doing it piece by piece If you want to run a mile, run 10 miles, run a marathon, you could do it, Tom. Just have to.
Gary, are you
He's
speaking?
going to be your mentor.
Gary looks like with the different background he has on his Zoom call, with how good his teeth are.
He has beautiful teeth.
You have beautiful. I was going to say, Gary, I literally got. I had no
Blinding
words.
me.
I was looking at your teeth. I had no words for them. I've never that's the feeling I'd like to have when I look in my wife's eyes.
Gary, are you, because the Octopus Man, I think,
no.
Is there any part
This
of
is where
this?
you show your true mental illness.
No. Well, has anybody ever accused you of being
An octopus man?
no, being anywhere on the spectrum? Like, do you have a dusting of Asperger's or anything that causes your brain?
Have you checked your pants for Asperger dust?
Like to be like, not only more intelligent than the average human, but like
Smarter than the average bear.
but able to compartmentalize something and then do just be that
Just
good.
are you pro octopus or not?
Is there something? What's different about you, Gary?
That's a great question, Tom. I mean, certainly possible.
Is it?
That I lie somewhere on the spectrum. A lot of people do. That's part of who we are, and use that to your advantage.
And Gary's my friend, and if he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to talk about it.
How dare
Why don't you
you?
get
That's
the hell out of
perfect.
here?
It's a benefit, and I think it's like it makes you better until it makes you way worse. There's a sweet spot.
There is a sweet spot.
And then, and I think people that
Of the
have
obsession
that,
you're talking about,
yeah,
right?
they're just able to compartmentalize and then just set goals for themselves and achieve them systematically and be organized about it and be self-disciplined and do these things for personal benefit only. And it's amazing. Anyway, so Gary, I know we were going to talk about some stories, and Samantha has them listed because I forgot them already. Samantha, let's throw out one of them, and Gary can talk about it.
Let's go with rescuing people from a burning apartment.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds
He's
good.
a hero.
You are a hero, Gary.
So what?
People in the chat want to know if you're single, Gary. Just,
The ladies like Gary and his big ding dong. That's the benefit of being a tall guy. It's not like if I ever zoom into your podcast, it's not like the ladies line up and they're like, oh, the little ding dong guy's here. Great. Great. The guy who wears, he rides a child's bike.
I'm not. I'm in a relationship with a great woman. She's a frontline worker. She's in the ICU helping people with COVID day to day. Really just an incredible person.
You know what they say, Gary? Hero sharpens hero. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're married to another hero.
Right.
Some would say I'm married to a hero.
That's true. I would.
Thank you for your service, Andrea. She is a frontline worker. Frontline of BS.
So, Gary, how did you save someone from a burning building?
The apartment fire. So this is a few years back. I was coming home from work. I worked at a law firm over here on the West Coast. And when I pulled into my apartment, I saw there was a nurse who was taking care of the woman downstairs, like an assisted living nurse who would come. And she was with the woman in her wheelchair, and they were looking off to the side. So, when someone looks and you see someone looking, you also look that way. So I look over to see what they're looking at, and there's like 6-foot high flames shooting out of the second floor apartment building next to us.
That's cool.
So I immediately just start running towards the fire, start sprinting over. I think I yelled at the nurse to call 911. I sprint over, I run up. There's like outside steps going up to the second floor. I run up to the door of the apartment that's on fire, and I start reaching my hand for the doorknob. Like a split second before I grab it.
Home Alone scenario.
Oh, you're going to burn it. You're about to have a hairy
my mind
hand.
says, you shouldn't touch a doorknob, right? With the fire behind it.
Right.
Melt your hand off like the guy on Indiana Jones when he grabbed the medallion.
Oh, yeah. That's a good reference.
But it's too late. I already grabbed it. And I grab it. Luckily, I don't melt my hand. I turn it. It's locked. I shake it. I bang on the door. Fire. No response. I throw my shoulder against it a couple
You
times.
have a question,
it's not
Tom?
budging.
No. I just wanted to bitch about the old never grab a doorknob because it could be super hot. Like, unless it was red
I've
hot.
never heard that, by the way.
I haven't either.
No one has ever told
Other
me
than
never
Home
grab a
Alone.
doorknob. It might be really hot.
If there's
I'd
a
be like,
fire,
I mean,
if there's
I'll
a fire on the other
I was
side.
gonna say, well, you tell that to me and Sam, we're gonna never leave our home.
But I feel like it can only if it was red hot poker, like a bolt, like you put something in like some sort of fire, you forged it or whatever.
Yeah, like you're a blacksmith.
Like that would instantly vaporize the skin on your hand. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right,
it's red
right.
hot. But you would say it would be glowing even in the daytime, and there's no way it could get that hot.
I don't pay attention to the color of my doorknob.
It could only be like a little bit, like touching a frying pan. Yeah, it would just be like, oh, you know,
I like that.
I say go. Even if there's a fire, just grab the door. If it's a little bit hot,
Tom grabs a fire doorknob. He instantly becomes a slightly amused David Lee Roth. He's like,
I'm just saying, it's not gonna melt your hand off. It'll just be like a pan hot, and it wouldn't burn you that bad. Anyway, sorry, Gary.
I forgot, Tom, you were a firefighter at one time. I forgot.
yeah, he
No,
knows.
just use it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gary knows.
So, once you got in there, what'd you do?
Yeah, banging on the door. No one answers. Try to force the door open. It's not budging. And at that point, smoke starts pouring out of the top of the eave and just starts coming down.
Oh no.
So I decide I need to move over to the next apartment next to it to start letting other people in the building know. So I bang on that door.
Oh,
Some
you've already
old
moved
guy
on. You're like, those people are dead. That's what I would do too. I would I'm very logical about it. I'm like, well, they're not answering, so
Yeah.
I have to save the people I can save, and hopefully I'll get back to these people.
Yeah.
So I go to the next door, bang on it. This older guy comes out. He's just wearing his like t-shirt and his shorts. And I'm like, sir, the building's on fire. You need to get out. And he was bewildered. He looks at me like I'm crazy.
What?
And then he like pokes his head out and looks down and sees all the smoke. And he's like, I got to get my wallet. So he runs back inside.
Oh, that's you, Tom.
You're like, help me get my clothes. You're carrying out his big.
I got a Rubbermaid with Jinkos in it. He's like, oh no.
You're
Run
carrying
down
out
to the
his
next door,
gateway.
bang on it. Maybe no response. So hopefully no one's there. I go to the next one. I bang on this other door, and a lady comes to the door.
Nude.
And I'm, telling her that fire. She's like, all right, let me get my stuff and get out. At this point, the second floor balcony is like filling with smoke.
Oh my
I
God.
can hear the sirens coming for the fire engines. And I get to maybe the next to the last door, and I bang on it. And this woman opens the door, and she's wearing her like bathrobe, curlers in her hair. And I explain how, fire,
Yeah.
need to evacuate. And she starts freaking out because of her birds. She's like, I have to get my birds.
Oh no, not the bird.
Yeah.
My birds. So I'm like, all right, just go back, grab your birds. There's one more door I
Grab
have
your
to knock
bird.
on.
How do you even do that?
So I knock on the last door, and then I start coming back to help the bird lady. And she's got like this big bird cage on like a thing she's trying to roll out of her apartment door.
Yeah, like
Just
one of those
freaking out.
trays that an old teacher would put a TV and a VCR on. And this lady's got her
Yes,
birds on it,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
I've seen these, and then you can't, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I don't believe if you're a bird person and there's a fire, and I'm not making jokes, I don't think you can just start grabbing your birds and shoving them all in one cage, because then won't they eat each other and fight?
They'll tear each other's beaks off.
Yeah, they'll freak out. Like, you
that's
can't-
that's the real thing.
Yeah, you can't just put them all in. It's not like like puppies, I think, are easy to get out of a fire. Cats, not so much. Birds, not so much. Puppies, you can shove them all in a cardboard box and throw them out a window. And as long as somebody's there to grab them, they'll be safe, right? They're not going to fight. They're not going to complain. Birds,
Oh, they'll rip each other's beaks off.
while you're trying to save them, they're killing each other.
Yeah. And they can't fly, so you can't even just open the door and
No.
then fly out the window.
That would be perfect world, right?
Yeah. So what
So I
happened
kind of
next?
get her birds down the stairs. And as I get to the bottom of the stairs, the nurse who I saw earlier, I guess when I sprinted off towards the fire, she just started sprinting behind me. I had no idea. And she saw me go up the second floor to help people. And then she went along the first floor, evacuating people. And then as we kind of finished, the fire trucks were rolling up. And then, the professionals got there, and it turned out to be like a 3-alarm fire. So like 3 different,
God.
engine houses had to come out. And
Did any of the firefighters like look at you and be like, "Hey, Coors, nice job with this bird.
Yeah, did you get any credit from anybody?
I always want you to have like one of those moments where the firefighter's like, I've done this for 35 years. I don't think I've ever seen a son of a bitch as brave as me.
Now, you know
it's
what
like staring into a mirror right now. Nice job, Cars.
No, you know what? Firefighters, they get mad if you try to be a hero because they're the heroes.
I'm the hero.
My buddy Porno Joe told me that. He's like, if some sort of like a citizen tries
what do we got here?
Yeah, they get mad. They're like, get out of here.
Oh, look, we got Marshall from Paw Patrol running to the stage. You let the professionals handle it, Cars.
So did they yell at you like you shouldn't have done that, or did they give you credit?
No, I just kind of went out of the way, stayed out of the way, didn't really engage with them, and then went over to my apartment. However, the next day in the paper, there was a big write-up, and apparently there was 2 other people who claimed credit for getting everyone out of the apartment. So.
No, they took him. Hold on.
You should have kicked him in the head. You're 6'7".
And those 2 people were Tom and Dan. Orlando's hero.
Yeah. I was filming it for TikTok across the street.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'll pretend to be the tall guy.
I didn't even film. I just yelled World Star as people were burning.
Yeah. So someone literally stolen valored you.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah, the nurse was real mad. She's like, we got to find those people.
Oh my God! What are you going to kill them? Find those people and kill them. That's a great story, man. What happened to the birds?
So the birds were saved. It turned out to be an electrical fire in the first apartment unit that I went to, and unfortunately, the woman, she was not there, luckily, but all of her belongings were destroyed. She was a Navy vet and had collected a lot of different items from traveling around
like
the
her
world,
travels.
which she was in the Navy.
That sucks.
So.
Have you guys been getting these text messages scams where it links to like phony GoFundMe's or whatever?
No.
You haven't seen these?
I've been giving to them.
No. Well, Crystal got one the other day, and it just said,
"Yeah, I got."
It said, "House got burnt."
Yes, I got that one.
You got the house got burnt.
And there's a picture. And there's a picture. It's just a house, and then the ceilings caved in, and it just says, "House got burnt." That's all it says. And it says underneath it, it says, "House got burnt," and then GoFundMe, and then you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, and I was like, give them $20.
I did get this one.
Yeah, just because it was funny. Like all you said is house got burnt.
It sounds like that joke that
Was it someone you knew?
No, it's a scam.
It sounds like that joke that Bubba used to say about the dog gone crazy. It's like house got burnt. It's not just like it's so
it didn't go into
stupid.
any explanation, or the person wasn't like, "Hey, this is my
the
story."
point.
No, there was
house
no
got
bio.
burnt.
There was literally no explanation. It was just house got burnt and a link to give money.
So
it made me like it though.
And what was the other story?
We
Sam?
got a few.
That was a good
we also
one.
have wrestling a guy with a gun.
Oh my
Another
God.
hero story, maybe.
Wow. I mean, do you get a lot of this? Or let me rephrase that. It seems like maybe in these type of situations, people do look at you to do something because you're a bigger guy, right?
Yeah, you're like a superhero.
Well, this one's a little bit different. I didn't take the initiative. I was in law school and I need to get my computer fixed. So I went to this place to get my computer fixed. There's this guy, Bob, who worked on computers. He was
I know that guy.
He's a really cool guy. He looked like a biker, big beer belly, long gray hair.
Computer biker Bob.
But he was a Vietnam vet, but he started his own computer repair business. So I took my computer to get repaired there. And he's in like a L-shaped strip mall. So his computer shop is like down here by my thumb. And then I'm in there talking to Bob about the computer, and this small guy kind of comes in the front door, and he knows Bob. The guy looks like, like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. You think he'd be bigger because he is a bail bondsman. So he is there to apprehend someone who has jumped bail. So he's determined the location of this kid.
So small Patrick.
You helped the bail bondsman?
So tiny Patrick Swayze is in Biker Bob's Computer Depot, and you're in there too, and that guy's in there waiting on a guy to come in to get his computer fixed that he can nab, like a Tiny Dog the Bounty Hunter scenario.
Yeah, Tiny Dog the Bounty Hunter comes in to ask Bob. He knows Bob because Bob's kind of a big guy. Hey, can you keep an eye on me? I'm about to go down, like in the corner of this plaza is an old payphone, and that's where this kid is on this phone. So Tiny Dog, the Bounty Hunter guy, is going to go down there and apprehend him. and he asked Bob to kind of keep an eye on him, to watch out. So
Okay, because he knew Bob.
Bob and I
He's
are
like, when
watching out the
Bob,
front
you know,
glass
Bob, I
of
know
the-
you
of the
want to
computer
live
store.
this calm life of computers, but back in the day, me and Bob used to, you know, I know Bob knows his way around that shotgun
yeah.
he's got.
Yeah, yeah,
And
he-
if S goes down,
Yeah, he flamethrowered
Yeah.
some schools.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like it was
yeah,
atrocities.
this guy was known as the village killer, you know.
So we're watching out the front glass of Bob's store, and Patrick Swayze guy goes down to apprehend this kid, and as the guy comes up to the kid, he's on like a payphone. He's got a brown paper bag. So the kid pulls a huge, not a rusty revolver, Tom, but a big, bright silver revolver out, and then the guy starts wrestling with him. So they got the gun, and they're kind of going back and forth with the gun.
Oh God, this give me anxiety.
Yeah, I would not. I'd
Like
be
a
running
movie?
the other way.
What's
Bob
Bob?
just yells, "It's go time!" And
It's
runs
going.
out the door.
Hold on. So Biker Bob's Computer Depot. Bob he had bloodlust. He was drunk. He's never wanted a kid to try his friend more than ever. He's like excited that this kid tried something because he gets to run across the parking lot with his rusted revolver to shoot the kid. Right?
So it's go time.
Yeah, so Bob goes sprinting out. Then I'm like a lemming, so I start running out after Bob because I see him run, and then Bob kind of comes down towards them, and they start moving like the other way on the plaza. I kind of cut across at an angle, and just as I'm like coming up on them, up here on the plaza is like a convenience store. So the little glass door opens, an old lady comes out with her bag of whatever she bought.
They were
inside there.
birds, oddly enough. They had a bag of birds.
And she's completely clueless to what's going on. And then Bob just tackles both of them. The rat guy.
Out of my way, you C
Yeah.
word. It's go time.
The old lady.
Oh man, old lady dropped all her groceries.
Hey,
I've al-
collateral damage. I'm Bob. goddammit.
I have
He just
always.
flushes them all onto the ground. And the gun is in the kid's hand, and they've got like they're holding his hand on the ground, trying to wrestle with it.
Oh, is he doing that move where you
yeah,
smash
you
the
Shah! By the way,
Shah!
if you did that to me, I could hold on to my gun, like for
Oh,
sure.
let's test that theory.
You know what?
You
I've
can
had
smash-
somebody do that. He fell right out. And I didn't get to shoot him. I didn't get to shoot him.
You can smash my hand if I'm holding that gun, and I'll hold on to it. Like I don't think I'll ever like it would knock it out of my hand.
I know you don't.
So knowing that the kid could have super strength like Tom, I as I get there, I stomp on the kid's wrist with my
Dang.
size 14.
Oh, you gave him the
A
big
14
ding dong. Oh, you gave him the ding dong.
Did you yell "Get out of the way, you old bag"? Because I've
my God.
to the old lady.
I always wanted to say
I've
that.
always wanted to do it in an emergency situation only. Like I don't want to do it in a disrespectful way. But if I'm trying to de-arm this guy,
Yeah.
and it could be a dangerous situation, and this lady's in my way, I have to scream, "Get out of the way, you old bag!"
Why do you gotta say old bag?
Why'd you say D-arm, too? Because I'm thinking now you've got penis arms
Right, right.
instead of disarm. I'm like, what is this guy talking? He's get out of my
Disarm,
way,
sorry.
D-armed. Madonna was there?
Sorry.
Madonna has D-arms.
disarm.
If you look at her arms, they're very veiny like D's.
So you're stepping on his gun.
But yes, just stomped on his wrist, and that made him let go of his gun. And then they got him handcuffed, took him away. Bob and I, our adrenaline's pumping, and we just go back
Let's
to the computer
69.
store.
I'm so freaking pumped up, man. I can't even build a computer right now. Let's go to Ale House. Spit on some pool tables.
So then I leave, and like a few days later, Bob calls me. He's like, "Hey, the computer's ready." Come in.
Business as usual
Yeah.
for Bob. This is an awesome story, dude. And I like Bob because Bob is so
Bob was
stone.
great.
He's stone
He's
cold.
like, "Come in." The Patrick Swayze bouncer guy, the bail bondsman,
Yeah.
left something for me. So I'm like, okay, great. So I get there to pick up the computer, and Bob hands me $100 bill. So the bail bondsman left like $100 as like a little reward for helping out, I guess.
And on the
So-
back of it, written in Sharpie, it said, "It's go time."
Oh,
Oh,
Sorry.
And then,
You
and then
okay?
Bob tells me
we're gonna
the-
be
the
off.
computer-
We're gonna be off for a couple of weeks.
Sorry.
Bob would say, then Bob says the computer repair is $60, so he takes me 100 and gives me 40.
Oh, you guys are like a regular Magnum PI, like kind of crime solving team, you know?
Yeah.
Like, remember, what was the show where the guy, MacGyver, remember, and he had that fat guy that always had the plane.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm envisioning. You and Bob have like this kind of like, you're like the law, you're big law. And then you got Bob is kind of your ragtag kind of computery, more nerdy, but still military service. He's got the know-how. I could write a whole series of adventures for you guys.
So, Gary, back to adventures. What's going to be your, I feel like if you're a true adventure-man, you have the grand adventure. And you've done the math.
Isn't that death?
Well, sometimes it is.
I'm pretty sure that's what they told me when I went to buy my mom's urn. They're like, welcome to the grand adventure. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I'm just saying that there's probably some sort of like dangerous, like super extreme adventure that you have your mindset on that you want to accomplish before. Because I'm sure you're the type of guy that's done the math where you're like, all right, X amount age, and no matter how much I keep my body up, I will deteriorate, because I'm a human being,
right,
and you can't beat time.
Yeah.
So you're like, I only have a couple years left to do this before I can physically not do it.
Sure.
Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, you're right, Tom. In fact, my son's getting ready to graduate high school, then he's going to go off to college. So I'm looking really at next summer doing what's called the Great Divide. So it's a bikepacking course that goes from Canada all the way down to Mexico, through Colorado, through the Rockies, through the Continental Divide.
I bet that's gorgeous. Oh my God. I bet that's ridiculously pretty. What time?
I'll have some time once, my son's, away at college doing his thing.
Is it the type of trail that you would have to do in summer because of snow and inclimatic weather? Or?
Yeah, so the Grand Depart usually starts in June up in Canada, so it's not frozen over, and you're able to kind of leave at that point and then go south, and it's manageable climate.
Do you do it as a group or is it a single rider type of deal?
You could do it either way. I would like to do it with some other riders, so you could have a little bit of, camaraderie, have some resources around you in case something goes wrong, because stuff will go wrong. It always does. You have to be ready to improvise, adapt, and overcome whatever little obstacle.
I'm going to write this down, Sam. We don't use any of those words around here, and I'm starting to change our vernacular.
How tall's your son?
Whoa! Look, we got a typical Florida teacher here, everybody.
I'm in club hashtag old teen with Tom over here.
Apparently, oh my God. Miss Har's teaching English.
Yeah, he's 6'1".
No, okay.
6'1".
I'd like to do that move, Gary, where I do a small portion of your endurance challenge with you, but it's only like 3 blocks. But I take my photo of me like riding my bike
do
behind
that all
you.
the time.
Yeah. But it's not, and so you get some sort of credit. Just like they're like you hashtag, you're like, I'm with Gary, and then everybody's like, oh wow, but you only went from here to 7-Eleven and then you stopped because you're winded.
You know what's funny, and I don't know if you guys had these people. I mean, obviously we all had the terms for like posers or whatever. I knew people in high school that would go to the beach with all their gear, like to surf or whatever, and would like literally, I don't believe they ever got in the water. But they were into the idea of going, so I guess they're into like
the culture.
I guess, but they would never get in the water.
There's tons of also like examples of like just like Instagram stuff, right? Where people will go and pose like they're doing an activity, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, that kind of defeats the whole idea of what Gary's doing. He's got all the gear and he has to plan these things out like way years in advance.
Yeah. Is there, Gary?
Well, Tom, one of my warm up is going to be the Florida Divide. So I'm going to start in Georgia and go down to the Everglades. So when I do that, I will pass through the Orlando, Kissimmee, DeLand area.
Nice.
So we can coordinate ahead of time.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Out.
Bike meetup.
I'll ride with you for sure. Dude, I will absolutely bring my bike out and ride with you.
I'll bring General Lee with me.
Hey, I got extra bikes. So you can ride Andrea's if you want. She's got a great step through that's probably about your size.
Are you doing all trails?
It's a combination of trails and paved paths because, to a certain degree, once you get a little bit south of Kissimmee, like Kissimmee towards Okeechobee, it's just a little bit of pavement.
So what through Orlando? What trail from where do you come through Orlando?
Sure. So you know the Wakiva,
yeah,
Wakiva River. So there's a whole wild forest area there. So there's some trails there. And then
all
there's
those in favor of us always calling it Wakiva instead of Wakiva. No. Keep saying Wakiva. I'm changing that on our show. We will now always say Wakiva just to make people mad.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you go through the Wakiva, and then where do you go?
Yeah, so then there's a paved path that kind of connects from there
to Kissimmee?
Over and down. It's like the Seminole Paved Trail. It's a paved biking path. And then that kind of goes down to another, like a wildlife management area a little bit to the east of Orlando.
I've probably been on most of those, but at different times. But you're actually going to really, if you've never done that, it's going to be an awesome ride. We have a lot of decent trails around here, man. Good stuff.
Do you study that beforehand, or you got a GPS just telling you where to go?
Well, no, I study you get a GPS course. So on the map, you see the entire course. Then I have to study it to figure out where I can stop and get water. If I need to camp, where there's campgrounds, where I can, stop and resupply and have an idea of whether I'll be, on pavement, out in single track, on a gravel road. So really have to prepare.
And with technology, Tom, and since I've been looking into like gravel bike courses around Florida and stuff, there are guys that, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but there are guys that literally, if you one-stop shop, the entire thing is detailed. What he did, marked on the map. Like, you can just go through, and there's no guessing to it because people have done it, and they, with the help of technology in your phone, they can mark and make notes and tell you what's good, what's bad.
Gary,
pretty cool.
Does your son think you're a hero? Because I feel like...
Man, you're obsessed with this lately.
Well, I feel like because I don't do any of these adventures or accomplishments.
You did an adventure.
You went off a rope swing in a tree.
Well, that's what you
tossed your youngest...
That was part of it, because I wanted to impress them.
You tossed your youngest son onto a inflatable hot dog over the weekend. True. I saw that. Yeah. It's very impressive.
Tom, you've jumped Gravedigger. I mean, doesn't get any better than that, buddy.
There you go.
See,
and you can't say S to him. He's 6'7". What are you gonna do?
That's right.
Nothing.
That's not impressive. I've showed that video to them multiple times, and they do not care like the rest of our audience.
I liked it, but I'm dumb old man.
But does your son is he proud of you for doing this? Does he tell his friends?
Does he do it with you?
He does not do it with me. He's a self-described indoor cat. So he's not really into the extreme adventures like I am.
Interesting. This is what you wanted to hear, isn't it?
Did you try to force him into it? That's what I would do.
Get on your bike.
Yeah, we did a few things together, but it's just not his forte. He doesn't really enjoy doing those activities the way I do. He's a pretty incredible kid, actually. He's a cyborg. He has cochlear implants. He went completely deaf when he was 8.
Wow.
He had surgery, so he has computer chips implanted in his head that allow him to hear digitally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how was it? I mean, that must have been. It's how the religious people talk about God only gives you what you can handle.
Yes.
I hate that. Yeah. So oh my God.
Thanks a lot, God.
Yeah, talk to a lot of people who scream, I can't take it anymore. Right. Because it seems like that. Anyway, but
I don't think I've ever heard that nor knew of anybody who. I have heard of that, but not known of anybody who has. That's amazing, dude.
But it seems like Gary's the type of person that can persevere over something that extreme. Where I would be freaked out. Tom,
he's got robot ears. He's fine.
When I found out Tommy needed glasses, I was like, oh my God, he's ruined. Seriously, it's stupid.
No, it's scary. It is. It's so
I'm
scary.
I'm just being honest. But
it's scary.
So when that, I'm sure it was terrifying when you're going through that, and now he's able to hear and
probably better than us
and speak as well as it. How long?
Even know how it works.
Did you have to go through a tremendous amount of rehab and things like that?
It's pretty amazing. From a very young age, he had diminished hearing, so he didn't hear very well from the beginning. So he had hearing aids initially as a young child.
Yeah.
So a hearing aid is basically like an amplifier. So it just picks up the acoustic sound and amplifies it into your eardrum. So it slowly degraded, and by the time he turned 8 years old, then he went completely deaf, where he could not hear sounds.
Right.
So at that point, he qualified through our insurance to get these cochlear implants, which essentially it's a computer chip with a filament attached to it, and that thin filament lays on your auditory nerve. So then that gets implanted in his head. So he has one on each side.
So does that duplicate
and then on the
vibration?
outside, there's a piece that connects on the outside, and that's like a little receiver that picks up the acoustic sound, and then the microchip converts it into a digital signal, and it pulses on the filament, and it replicates sound on your auditory nerve.
That's insane, dude. How cool
So
is
when
that?
he first got it, it took his brain a little while to adjust to the way the sound was now being, manufactured in his brain.
So he had to
And he said,
adapt
at
to
first,
it, right?
I sounded like Donald Duck when I spoke to him after he got them, but slowly his brain figured it out.
Yeah.
And now he sounds, he has, speech is good.
That's
Communication is
so
great.
cool.
That's freaking amazing, man.
Science.
Yeah, right? Come on.
It's amazing.
science, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does he have to get, do you have to do tune-ups or
updates or something?
Or updates to them? I mean, because technology is only going to get better, right?
Sure. So he's had about 10 years now. In that 10-year period, he's had 3 different upgrades.
Right.
So the piece that goes on the outside gets smaller, gets more waterproof. They actually updated it with a Bluetooth component. So
Sweet.
His ears are just a decoration. The ears don't work anymore because of the surgery. So as a teenager, he can Bluetooth his music from his phone directly into his head.
Dope.
That's awesome.
That's
Just like any other teenager listening to their music, doing their thing.
Yeah.
He does this. He can do the same thing with his phone, Bluetoothing sound right into his head.
That's really neat, dude. That's really neat.
Could you theoretically have Bluetooth a conversation into his ear as well? Since could he be talking to you or anybody? I guess there's no microphone.
Well, no.
So he can hear.
You could be talking to him, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
he can hear you.
Yeah. So you talk on the phone, and it Bluetooths into his head. So when he talks to his friends, I can't hear what the friend is saying because the friend's voice is in his head.
Oh, then we need to play
Right.
poker with your son in
Yes.
Vegas, and we're going to make some money.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the different capabilities of this.
It is
cheating somehow.
It is fascinating, though. Wow, that is please.
The technology is amazing.
Thank
and
you.
it's given him access to more sound than he had before with his just diminished capacity.
And thank you for being
the
so
access to
candid
sound improved.
and sharing his story, too. That's really cool of you to share that. That's really awesome.
He's really open about it. It's like we were saying, the technology has progressed. On his phone, there's
That's
an app
wild.
where he can control kind of the distance of the microphone. So if it's too loud, too crazy, you can kind of shrink it
So
down.
he can adjust it for where he's at. Like if you're at a concert, he can change it. If he's outside playing sports, if he just wants to turn it off, I guess he can. That's neat, man.
Yep.
Well, this is the type of things why I wonder why people are anti-technology, because that is just it made. And is this your boy that's graduating?
Correct.
That's cool.
But again, we're the same. Human beings can do this, and what you see on TikTok, you're like, all right, wow, oh my God, which one is it? Anyway, Gary, thanks for
I
coming
love
on
it
the
when
show
we get
today.
to talk to Gary.
Yeah, I think we
should call this segment "Ask Gary," right?
Yep.
And God,
Are you okay?
You all right?
You in the caffeine again?
yeah, that's a problem.
I don't think it's caffeine. I think
don't
it's,
either.
I've been
No.
meaning to tell you this. Around this area, there's very, very lumpy cancery. Very lumpy
the
cancer.
black lumps.
Yeah,
I thought
on
was,
the outside.
I thought that was pimple.
Yeah, well, I thought they were pimples too, but they've been there since we've owned the studio. It's 4 years.
Yeah, and they're red hot.
You have red hot cancer lumps.
Sorry, I didn't get too much
I have to
sleep
tell
last
when
night.
Tom and I go places. I have to tell them not to shoot the thermometer on his lumps because he'll never get into any venue because he always has a fever.
Adventure Gary, we appreciate it. And I think we asked you last time. You don't even put any of this stuff, these adventures, on social media or anything, right?
Not really. I should maybe start doing that. What I'd like to do is try and incorporate an adventure with maybe a charitable foundation, maybe raise some money
This guy's like the best person on the planet, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, Gary, if you just documented this, like, I'd follow your account just to see your adventures.
You're my favorite part of my show.
Like, all you need is, like take your cell phone and just do some video and make an Instagram, and I'll follow your adventures.
There hasn't been one thing that Gary has said, including the really heartwarming and cool technology story that makes you think people are good at trying to make things happen in the world. Everything you've said today has been something I would follow.
Yeah. 100%, because there's actually content.
Yeah. Unlike normally we're talking about how our doo-doo smell and all that.
Or just on social media, it's just endless nothing.
Well, I like that better than us.
Yeah. All right, Gary, we'll talk to you again, man.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.
Oh, is that how he ends?
He's got business. He's got to go be a hero.
Did you say they went, thanks, he's just materialized?
Yeah. Those type of guys, it's whatever that is internal in those people's brains. They're
better people. Did you just fart?
I heard that. My chair's.
I heard that. Oh my God, Samantha, big old period blammer. That's what my wife does. Big old period blammer.
What is that?
Women fart more when they're on their periods.
Is that a fact?
Gary told me that.
It's bloating. Oh God, we gotta go.